Welcome to the Clear Shots Podcast with Seth Skinner and Jake Jones.
Hey guys, it's Seth from Clear Shots and the doctor is in. It's episode 67. Our mic's cut out at the end of the show, but enjoy anyway.
Don't give them clear shots. Don't give them clear shots. Don't give them clear shots. Don't give them clear shots.
Welcome to the podcast, guys. The doctor is in. We have Bill on the show today.
We've been clamoring for the past few weeks to get him back on.
Everybody's been asking, man. Everybody wants him back, and we got to, you got to give them what they want.
Certified ratings draw.
Yeah. It's funny. Like, I think you're probably like our most requested guest, I would say, right?
Yeah, no, really.
I think so.
He really is. You really are.
There's something about it. You know?
I think our most watched is Cass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, like, Cass was also in, like, 8+ hours of content, probably.
Yeah.
At least, right? I think we did, like, 4 parts with him on the second time. And it was, like, it's like you almost have to listen to all of it because he goes through it, like,
The whole story.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then there's also, like, him talking about conspiracies in one of them, so which is pretty fun, too.
That's the best part.
Yeah. You gotta have the conspiracies. There's the patented loud vehicle. Dude, I was so pissed earlier because, like, there was like somebody just peeled out in front of the house for no reason, and I never understood that. Like, why would you want to do that?
Oh,
What are the pros and cons? Like, the cons are you ruin your tires, you make a wicked loud noise, and you look like an idiot.
Yo.
And the pros are that's it.
The past week,
there
this
are
end
no
of
pros.
town, like, somebody in this corner of town has, like, some shitty-looking muscle car, and they'll constantly just peel out of a stoplight, go straight up Utica Street Hill, full tilt.
Yep. It's hilarious.
Is it a...
They're just trying to grab attention. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's like no one really cares. And, like, even if you see it, it's like, I don't know who that person was.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? How are you benefiting yourself?
Is it like a cream-colored, beat-up Camaro?
No.
No?
No,
What
it's
about
like some, like, gray, like, it looks like it's just spray painted, no gloss coat, nothing. Just some old Chevy or Cadillac or something.
Yep.
It just drives like an idiot.
It's like a 96 Plymouth Voyager or something, you know?
Yeah, it's totally sad. Well, I was going to say, when I lived on Van Buren Street, we'd get complaints about that all the time. Because we always had tons of cars in the driveway.
Yeah.
And whenever there would always be a guy driving like this beat up Camaro, blaring music and driving super fast, they would just assume, oh, he's going to be living at the house where all the college kids are.
Yeah.
But we didn't like him either.
Yeah, it's like you can't really be a likable person and do that, you know?
No.
Mm-mm.
I totally have to pee though really bad, so I'll be back. Like I could have done it any time up until now. Like we had like the past 30 minutes, but I have to go to the bathroom so bad.
Wow, this coffee's really sweating bad today.
Yeah, I'm just gonna buy an
It's a
old
sweaty day.
Chevelle and put like 18-wheeler smokestacks on it and just roll coal everywhere I go.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a good guy.
I've got it all figured out. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like, I feel like those are the same people that wear work boots everywhere and have a camo hat. You know?
Timberlands in the summer.
Yeah. It's the same guy, and they definitely have dip. There's definitely Grizzly in the fucking front console, you know?
Like, the whole can just shoved down into the cup holder.
Yeah. Especially if, especially if they, have a wicked raised truck or something.
Yo. Oh, man.
Stupid, like, off-road wheels. Or their vehicle's covered in dirt.
Yo.
Or mud, and they just think it looks cool.
Confederate flags sticking out of the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Guaranteed. It's like you are not within 1,500 miles of the people you claim to support.
Yeah. That's almost an all or nothing look, too, though.
Yeah.
Like, you have to go all in.
Yeah.
You can't just have the camo hat.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta mix it in with everything else.
Rip the muffler off your own truck because it sounds better.
Yeah. Well, that's what they say. There's a lot of bad mufflers around here, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Oh, that's rough. Trying to buy a car out here with all the salt in the winter and it's not good.
Yep. And that's the thing is, it will destroy your vehicle.
Yeah.
Like, very quickly. Jake's getting yelled at by the dogs right now.
Of course. You need to show those dogs who's boss. Assert some authority.
I know. You gotta give him a quick roundhouse. Oh my god. I've never really watched Walker Texas Ranger, but the other day I was up at class up in Liverpool or wherever it is, and we were taking like our final exam, and it was like a hands-on thing with gas. Like, so we were like trying to just light random shit, and whenever someone else wasn't in there, we were all sitting in the classroom watching Walker Texas Ranger, and it literally is all roundhouse kicks. Like, every time there's any fight scene, it's roundhouse kicks.
Dude, it's so good. You ever watch the old Conan clips where he has the lever?
No.
Dude, it's so great. Just out of context Walker Texas Ranger clips. Best thing ever.
It's like he doesn't use a jab or anything. He literally stays at range and throws roundhouse kicks.
He doesn't throw punches at all.
No. It's only roundhouse kicks.
Talking about, oh shit. The
Walker
doors are
Texas
closed all the
Ranger.
way. I was going to say, you talking about Chuck Norris?
Yep. The original gangster. I thought Sandy was joining us for a minute.
No, she's not allowed.
Good.
She's kicked off, like officially kicked off.
Yep,
She was
she's
bad
banned.
last. The last time she said a bunch of N-words. She said a bunch of N-words and we had to kick her off. She came running in and she was like, nah. She started firing them off.
It was weird because they were subtitled. I don't know who did that.
I don't know. I think YouTube added that in.
Oh my god.
Loose cannon.
Yeah. No,
Did you already drink that whole beer?
Yeah.
Do you want another one?
Sure, I guess.
Do you want it warm or cold?
Try a cold one. I've already tried a warm one.
I mean, I guess some people prefer the warm ones, right?
Yeah, you gotta trying to experience a little bit of everything in life.
Right, yeah. You gotta dip your toes into the warm ones once in a while.
Thank
Figuratively.
you.
Slightly colder.
What happened to the bottle opener?
Somewhere.
Thank you. I like how you've got it wrapped in tape for heavy duty use.
Yeah, it came like that though.
I didn't do anything.
It's supposed to be the end of a hockey stick.
Oh, okay.
It came in blue Labatt Blue, like one of those 24 packs.
The Power Play. The Power Play beer? Was that what it was?
I don't know, maybe.
You know what that means, right? It means if you open a beer above your hip level, it's a penalty.
I want to go.
Oh yeah.
Like that. I like that. I bought the beer and Bill is too deep, and I haven't taken a sip yet. Like we're not even.
It doesn't
15
matter.
minutes
Yeah,
in.
but you don't like. The thing is, you kind of like have a ramp up, and then like when you hit like that one threshold, then it's like.
Yeah. Well, I drank 2 of these. Like I wasn't looking for socks. I was mostly just drinking beer. I had 2 of these left, and I was like, I want to finish both of these before Seth gets here. So.
Right.
No, it is generally a problem. Like, it's just a product of the way I drink. Like, I drink a bottle of water or a Snapple, I'll be done with it in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just how I drink beverages.
No, that happens to me too. Yeah. I always drink when I eat dinner. I drink my drinks last. Do you guys do that?
Try
sometimes,
to mix it up.
I never finish my drink before my food.
Yeah, never. That's for sure. I never finish it before it.
Yeah. Now, I try to mix it up because as a kid, I was one of those people, like, I go to McDonald's, like, I'll eat the whole burger, then I'll eat all the fries, and I found out later, apparently, that's, like, a sign that a kid will grow up to be a serial killer.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, you're having we're having a conversation with a serial killer.
I know. I'm not on the right path either then.
We're on the first 48.
Yeah. Usually I eat the fries first.
See, I start with the fries, and then I get to the burger, and then I finish the fries.
Oh, yeah, okay. Sometimes. Yeah, I guess
Do you ever put your fries on the burger?
No.
Yep. Oh, dude, I put fries on. If I get any form of sandwich, the fries are going on it.
It's true though. Like I like putting chips in like subs sometimes and shit just to make them crunchy, you know.
Oh yeah, dude, you go to Subway, you almost have to
Yeah.
get that texture.
No, that's a little too out there for me, man.
Really?
Sun
You should
chips, dude. The cheddar sun chips on the sweet onion chicken teriyaki.
Dude,
It's
what is
too
up-
perfect.
Dude, what is up with Subway has an infinite amount of combinations. Everybody I know that goes to Subway exclusively gets the sweet onion chicken
Yup.
teriyaki with like the cheddar toasted roll or whatever.
Yup.
Like that's all. Like, why even call it Subway? Just call it
Sweet onion chicken
sweet
teriyaki.
onion chicken teriyaki way. Like fuck off. That's so stupid.
They should call it the only way.
One way.
Yeah.
They're gonna take a note from Dunkin' Donuts and just chop off the second half of their name
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
be Sub.
Just sub.
Sub 8.
I've been getting the oven roasted chicken just because there's like nothing to it, you know.
I've been getting not Subway because I live a block away from Garofalo's.
Yeah, that's true.
So you live closer to Garofalo's than you both live closer to Garofalo's than you do Subway. Why are you going to Subway?
Because if I get Garofalo's, I'm gonna eat a lot, and it's never gonna be something somewhat healthy. Because if I go to Garofalo's now, I'm probably gonna get that cheeseburger sub. Because
Yeah, like, I worked there. I've been behind the scenes. To borrow a phrase, I've seen how the sausage is made, and not great.
yeah, you don't
See,
want
that's the thing is like the three of us have all worked in kitchens. And you know it's a bad thing when all the kitchens we've worked in, we would never
that's the thing,
eat the
it's-
food
Yeah.
there, like
Yeah.
off the clock.
Oh, I did. I definitely did. At Ponderosa, dude.
Yeah,
I was eating the wings
dude.
and shit all the time.
Oh yeah. Every now and then I'll go up to Pulaski. I go to the Ponderosa up there.
You get the nostalgia, and you know.
Yeah, it
Is it set
really
up the
shows
same?
you how not great ours was, but it's Ponderosa, so why not?
Mm-hmm.
What's the big difference? I've never been to the one in Pulaski.
I mean, it's not really any different. It's just like you see how, like, not concerned with quality they really are. Like, the steaks are the only thing that's genuinely good there.
Yeah.
I remember when we were working there, they put the ravioli out on the buffet. Literally Chef Boyardee.
Mm.
Unreal.
Wait, what? It was like a 10 can of Chef Boyardee.
Like a giant,
It was a bunch
like,
of those.
big, full-size can of Chef Boyardee ravioli.
And you're complaining?
Yeah, but
Why?
that's the good ravioli.
I was gonna say, dude, if I went to like,
Chef Boyardee.
It's funny though, like anywhere, you know that like as soon as you work in a kitchen, you know that like even the high end restaurants definitely have shit
Yep.
kitchens. That's why you watch Kitchen Nightmares, dude.
I worked at Wade's for a while. Wade's has the Heinz bottles for ketchup. They fill them with Hunts.
Really,
I knew it. I fucking
the
knew it.
glass bottles.
I
yeah.
Yep.
knew it.
You could tell, dude. You can tell the Hunts thing. You know,
Yep.
there is a difference. It's weird when you taste test them. They're like really
Yep.
different.
Hunt's is
I thought
it's flatter.
Yeah, I always thought it was like a glass bottle thing until I find out it's a whole different brand. But like, you can look at the ketchup and like you almost like see the tomato fibers in there. Like it just looks more real.
Yeah,
The
it's
only
like a Coke. It's like a Coke versus Pepsi thing, but
Yeah.
it's
I don't
weird,
even want to
though.
get into that again. I don't want to get into that again.
We should do taste tests. Who was it that said that? Christian said that. We should do taste
I was
tests.
thinking we
on
should
the
do like all those YouTubers and people are doing tier lists for things.
Yup.
We should do a fast food tier list.
Dude, I was putting that idea out like a year ago, and we never capitalized. And
The
now
three of
it's
us
been
never
stolen.
did? The
What's
three
a
of us
tier
never
list?
capitalized, or you in general never
No, dude.
capitalized?
Well, I mean, either or. I wasn't ever going to be able to do it by myself because my computer's shit. But
It just needs to be out there, dude. You know.
I still
I don't
think
know
we
what
should
a
do
tier
one. I
list
think
is,
it'd be a
though.
lot of fun.
Yeah, like that was my whole idea, like for a series, just like you take a random topic and just take all the things in it, just power rank them.
Huh.
Like for something we talked about, like just had like a whole 2-hour podcast, just take all the different fruits you can think of and make the tier list.
Very true.
Dude.
Very true. Apricots are S tier.
Dude,
no.
that's us like going shopping
Apricots
for fruits.
are F tier. Oh my god.
I just see us prancing around like fucking Price Chopper.
You even got like the cutaway man on the street segments just walking through Price Chopper. Like, these are pretty decent.
Yeah.
Like
dude.
doing our field research for our tier lists.
I'd like to do a shrimp taste test.
Well,
Dig me some shrimp.
Get the list of all the different types of shrimp from Forrest Gump, and then rank them.
yeah. You gotta have the Bubba
I
Gump.
already know that cocktail shrimp is going to be A tier, probably B tier.
I don't even know that many different types of shrimp. No.
Butterfly
Ponderosa grilled shrimp, dude. That's it right
Baby
there.
shrimp, no. Coconut shrimp, S tier. Well, you don't like coconut, do you?
I mean, it's alright. I don't go out of my way to have some, but not bad.
I guess there's a tornado warning in Syracuse.
Good.
Oh,
Good.
That's interesting.
That'll ease the traffic.
Yeah. There's,
Dude. Everyone around us is getting dumped on with rain like nonstop today, and we're just barely avoiding all of it.
yeah.
It was
we're
crazy.
getting like periodic rain.
Yeah, dude. Earlier, I was looking outside. You could see steam coming up off the roads.
Wow, there were computers all over the place.
Yeah. There were Steam deals. There was like
Steam
fucking
sales.
minus 30%, minus 50%. You can see them all like popping up.
That snowboarding game Steep is free
on
right
sale.
now on whatever Ubisoft's
Oh, it's free?
services.
I think I got it for free on PlayStation at one point. But I've never really played it.
I remember when that was just coming out, they wanted it to be full price, and I never heard of anybody fucking play it. Oh, God.
I've heard, I know Swamp said he plays it. I don't know anybody else that really like got into it though. Like most of the like reviews and shit weren't good for it. I didn't really like the beta or whatever it was, but I didn't play the full game.
Yeah.
It's like nowadays, like you can't even judge games on a fucking beta.
No.
Like they can change so drastically now. It's weird.
I was going to say Swamp is the only person I know that played it
Yeah.
or that has it. But that game is honestly such a fun game to just like knock beers back and just do crazy shit with.
yeah.
It's kind of like Skate, I guess, but it's like a snow version of it.
I want to try.
That was what I was thinking. Like, the only way I can see that game working is if you have your session markers like Skate did.
Right, yeah. That is key in
Yeah.
all of those. They need to make a rollerblading game or some shit.
Yo.
They need to bring back Razor Freestyle Scooter.
No, they don't. They do not.
Yeah, they
What was
do.
the Jet Set Radio? Was that the
Yo.
rollerblading game?
Yeah, I have that. Jet Set Radio.
It's like rollerblading and graffiti, isn't it?
Yeah, basically.
Oh my god, dude. What was that graffiti game with the Mark Echoes Getting Up?
Yo.
Dude, I remember G4 and
Getting
X
Up.
Play were hyping that game so hard because they were like, yeah, you can custom make your own graffiti. And then all of a sudden
could do
it
that
comes
in
out and
American
you can
Wasteland.
only pick like from 60 pallets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 60 stencils.
Well, American Wasteland was like that, but I think it was stencils too, right? You could design something.
I think
And
it
it also
was-
had stickers too. Like
I
you
was
could-
going to say, I think it was the way that emblems are in Call of Duty, where you
Yeah.
pick shapes and you layer them onto
Yeah.
each other.
that was a
I
cool
don't know.
game.
It's so hard to go back to those Tony Hawk games. As much fun as they were,
Yeah.
like I haven't been able to enjoy those Tony Hawk games unless I'm 17 and high out of my mind.
You know, Steam. Skate really changed the whole game.
I want to try Skater XL. It's like a indie game right now that they're developing that's supposed to be like similar to Skate, and it looks really good. Like it
Yeah.
looks really fucking good, and it's still in early access. But I still have hopes for Skate 4. Like I feel like they know that they should do it.
You know,
I think what it was they are kind of scared that they're not going to sell as much as they, as much as their other franchises that they have going, you know.
I think it really is for Skate 4. I don't know if we talked about it before, but I think right now the problem is, how much money do you think they would have to invest to get all these companies and stuff on board? And all these, if they get actual skaters in it, the brands, the stuff like that. Yeah. And would they even break even?
Yeah, because there's no like official license for skateboarding.
No, you have to get all of them individually.
Have to get,
That's why it was so much easier back in the day, because like, you know, they weren't really worth as much as they are now. I don't know the business or the world of skateboarding, so this is really
just
coming
to get
from like an anecdotal point of view.
Yeah. Skateboarding's kind of on a low ebb in general right now. It's not
very
a
indie
thing like it was when we were kids.
Yeah, it's weird because even when we were kids, it was like the anti-establishment, like let's be fucking anarchist type thing.
Yeah,
and now it's like
before Antifa, there was skateboarding.
Yeah, yeah. It's weird that is like the thing now. Like that's like the anarchist movement now.
Antifa, or
like there's not really like a rebellion anymore. It's weird.
No, it's funny because all up until like 10 years ago,
are there emo kids still or no?
Oh yeah, dude,
I was just talking about
it's a whole thing now. Like emo has moved on to rap.
Yeah,
what?
It has. Yeah, the Suicide Boys.
Oh, okay.
People like the Suicide Boys, but they're like a whole thing, like that. They're part of that whole movement, like the SoundCloud rappers. Yep. Lil Peep was part of it.
Yeah, like the guy at
XXX Tentacion or whatever.
Yeah.
XXX Garbage.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, the music was decent.
I mean, if you have 3 X's in your name, you got
music was good, but yeah, he beat up gay people and pushed pregnant people down the stairs.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's a negative.
It's not.
It's a negative.
It's not a good look.
Yeah. It's like a minus, not like a minus.
Yeah, minus would be like pushing pregnant gay people down the stairs.
Right. Yeah.
At least he's doing it separately.
Yeah. That's true.
Now I was just gonna say,
it's funny though because emo, like punk music, always.
You were gonna say,
like I felt like punk music got lumped into emo even when it wasn't emo. Like even if you were playing punk music and you weren't singing about emo shit, it still was considered like emo or like fucking goth or whatever for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
The Front Bottoms are like that. They're like a punk rock band. But all their songs are like, my girlfriend left me, and I'm really sad, and I really miss her, and really, really bad. Like, that's every song by the Front Bottoms.
Like, that's a good rhyme, dude. Tore that shit up. Bill, do you still freestyle or no?
I haven't in a while. I do still make like, I'm currently making beats. I'm still.
On what? Are you using like GarageBand or something?
No, I have. I'm literally just composing shit in Guitar Pro and exporting it to Audacity.
MIDI files? Yeah.
Which is actually a real pain in the ass.
Guitar Pro 6 is okay. Like, the sound engine is okay in 6.
Yeah.
Like, MIDI file-wise. You could, like, get away with exporting, like, drums and kind of making it sound okay.
Yeah.
You got to play around with the kits and stuff and, like, make it actually sound right.
Like, converting everything from, like, MP3 to MIDI and back. Like, I had in Guitar Pro, I set my bass volume to max, and it is still almost inaudible after I export it. So I had to put it in Audacity, turn the volume on that track all the way up, put the lead synths and everything like halfway down, just in order to like get all my instruments coming through.
Yeah, you could probably like play around with Audacity. There's a lot of tools in there actually. Yeah. Like you could probably like first of all amplify it, and then you could probably put a compressor on it to make it a little bit like less fucking like break up-y, like it's gonna, because if you just amplify it, like if you just crank the decibels, it's probably gonna clip and shit like that.
Yeah, I was getting all the pops and stuff out of when I played it on my speakers. No, I played through the headphones and it sounds fine, but I put it on the speakers and it was just popping nonstop.
Yeah, it's weird. I used to just write like drum sections and then just play around with them, like play guitar to them.
Yeah.
and just have it loop or whatever.
Yeah, that's basically what I'll do. Like, because all I can really do musically is, like, I'll just screw around on bass, and I'll come up with these simple little riffs that I can just throw together and loop, and it's good enough for a shitty little rap song. So that's what I'll do with it.
That's all you need, yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to, I mean, I'm not even trying to. It's just that I'm making songs with no samples because, like, sampling properly is not in my skill set.
Yeah. And also, it depends on where you get your samples is, like, sketchy, too. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're going to have to pay out. Unless it's Crystalia, then you can just take it, and he doesn't care. He literally was like, "Yeah, don't ask for money." Like, he literally said that to his agent. He's like, "I just want to be an Eminem's, like, Logic Eminem song."
I was gonna say he just wants to, full on parody.
He wants to have the #1 song in the world.
Yeah.
Which he does, or he did.
Mine
I don't
was
know anything
documentary.
about charts. Like, I have no idea about charts. I never learned anything about, like, popular music, really, because I never really listened to popular music.
It's a weird.
Because there is a top chart, like a top 100 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how does that work?
Like, the Billboard.
Yeah, like, how do they even track
It's
that
just a
shit?
conglomerate company. You know, it's the
So
same
they'll
way.
just
Like
they'll just
it's like the same way that like the Oscars or the Nielsen ratings or whatever work. You know, how much airplay they get, how much money they get, how many albums or records or tracks they sell, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know
that's
what I
why
mean?
it's like with like the digital platforms now, you can actually get a better idea of what people are actually listening
Yeah.
to because you can see what they're actually listening to.
But that
So
still will go into the Billboard.
it
you know?
should, yeah.
Like, and that's where like
Because it's like if it's playing on the radio, that doesn't mean people are listening to it.
Yeah.
It just
no,
means it's
but
on the
they
radio.
still there's a whole it's sort of like in golf you have the stroke index.
Yeah. Honestly, we might be, like, in the middle of the golden age of pop music. Like, there's a lot of shit out there right now that is, like, actual, like, quality, like, songwriting and stuff. Like, musically actually good.
Yeah.
It's just straight up pop.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
Because I'm a big fan of Death Grips. And Death Grips is, I mean, I don't want to say, like, the opposite of pop music, because they're really not, like, that fucking experimental when you get into, like, comparing them to the rest of experimental music.
Yeah,
But you can see that, I mean, they're decidedly non-commercial, and you can see their influence filtering down into pop music nowadays. Like, you've got Taylor Swift putting out albums that instrumentally there's, like, a big industrial influence. It's just, gee, I wonder where this is coming from. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
you
she
know
was
she
obviously
listens to
listening to
Death
Yeezus by Kanye a lot.
Yeah.
And when Kanye put out Yeezus, it was like, oh, he's been listening to Death Grips.
yeah.
And
of
you can
course he
trace
has.
all of that back to Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
It's funny though because
And
experimental.
Tears for Fears.
Yeah,
Tears for Fears was super weird. Like,
Yeah.
I
Well, but
didn't
that's
wanna-
what I mean though. Is
I didn't wanna-
experimental is such a wide,
Yeah.
like fucking, like a wide genre. Like you can
Yeah.
do anything you want and call it experimental.
I didn't want
Yeah.
to. I didn't want to cut you off, but I'm about to. I just wanted to say, like, out of all the music out of the '80s, Tears for Fears does not belong.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they are the weirdest popular group I've ever heard of.
Yeah,
Like, you
they
can
also
listen to
have
them.
songs though that sound really 80s. Like
They
Yeah.
do,
It's
do.
like-
But a lot of their stuff, like their normal, or not normal, but they're like their average song is just so out of place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
When
and
you have
even like
stuff-
their more normal music, it's just like really weird off-kilter melodies and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny though because you can like tell when you hear a song that it's an 80s song.
Yeah.
It's weird because there's like an actual sound to the
Yeah.
80s and
I would
there's a
say-
sound to like the 60s and shit. Like
That's a really good point to bring up. Like, if we have Wes or Dave back, probably no disrespect to Dave, but Wes probably back on.
It could have
because Wes
something
is
to do with production.
Super deep into the theory of music.
yeah.
You know, I mean, I had him explain to me the Beatles once, and it took like an hour and a half and a 6-pack.
Well, yeah, the Beatles. I took a whole fucking class on the Beatles.
I
in
I
middle
didn't get
school.
it. Like, I just don't get the Beatles.
Really?
Yeah,
I
it was
don't- I
basically
don't
a whole
mind them.
class.
They're-
Middle school?
Yeah, it was. What the fuck was his name? There was a
Taverny?
there was a music class, and he basically spent most of the fucking class talking about the Beatles.
That's crazy.
It was weird, and you learned a lot about like how they structured their covers. Like there was a lot that went into that, like their
Yeah.
art and shit. like Sgt. Pepper and how much shit's on there, like all the Easter eggs that are on the cover of that.
Yeah. No, we talked about it before. We talked about it with Christian. I personally feel, and you could also feel both sides. You know, one side, music from the 60s, 70s, and 80s is better than music now. But at the same time, we're living in the now, so we get to experience the shit music.
Yeah.
The shit music from back then didn't make it to today, you know? But I would still take, I was just talking to this kid I work with.
Some of it did.
And I wanted to get this into a whole age thing. Because you guys are a little older than I am. And I just realized that you're way older than I thought you were. I thought you were the bell curve of like me and Seth. But Seth is actually the bell curve of the two of us. Three of us.
Yeah. I'm the middle brother.
We were talking about Pink Floyd and Nine Inch Nails and stuff like that.
Ooh, is this?
That's a fresh one.
Oh, okay.
Because you're gonna drink it. If I put it in front of you, it's gonna be drank. So.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what gets me in trouble.
Yeah.
It's okay as long as you don't try and piss behind the Lincare building at 1 a.m. You'll be fine. Not that I know anybody that's done that.
That place is actually still popping at that hour, isn't it?
If you're me and the poppin' is the cops, then yes.
Well, come out. We see you trying to steal all that oxygen.
Oxygen displacement is illegal.
yeah. I had to relieve myself.
Oxygen displace myself with a noose as I'm trying to beat up autoerotic whatever. Didn't realize I was a fucking felon.
The goose is loose, dude. Here we go. And I was just gonna say, I don't even remember where I was going. I was talking about Pink Floyd.
You always are talking about Pink Floyd.
I am. Now, I have the shirt on too. Now I was just gonna say, like there's a lot of bands. I would say Pink Floyd is a band where their music started out in like the mid '60s and went to the late '90s. But you could take like their album, The Division Bell, and place it in the '60s.
Wasn't the latest album they just put out like actually good?
It was amazing. Yeah, it was the Endless River from a few years ago, 2014.
God damn!
And it was when they wrote The Division Bell, they wrote a bunch of instrumental tracks, and they were like, you know what? We haven't done an instrumental based album since like the 60s and 70s. Mm-hmm. We're not gonna release our final album and have it be half instrumental. So they recorded it and wrote it and never used it. And then up until recently, a few years ago, they re-recorded it, produced it, mastered it, and everything. I think the album is like 55 minutes long and there's only 10 minutes of vocals.
Damn. That's weird.
It's really strange. And Stephen Hawking is the singer for one of the songs.
What?
Stephen Hawking is the vocal track for one of the songs.
How does he do hitting the notes?
Pretty standard, really.
Nails it, dude.
Yeah. You ever heard of a dial tone? It's like that, kind of.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember a dial tone.
I'm not. Wait, actually, yeah, dial up.
Oh,
I remember when AIM had Super Buddies. Remember that shit?
Super Buddies?
Yeah, when you had AIM and you had the animated icons.
No.
When you sent an emoji,
Before it was called an emoji.
It was called an emoticon.
Yep.
Or an emote for the hip kids.
For the layman.
For the emos.
Yeah. But yeah, they had animated icons, like animated profile pictures. You don't remember that?
Maybe.
That was like a huge thing because you could actually create your own.
I'm off thinking on a tangent.
My dad had one that was a frog. And every time you sent an exclamation point, it would just go, "Yup."
That's so weird.
So he would end every AIM message with an exclamation point, so he could be like, "Yup." I'll show you the commercial for it because the frog was in the commercial.
I wish you could make other people's phones make certain sounds, like with your messages.
I would just have my phone go.
Yeah, or you'd have everyone else's phone.
Every time I texted somebody, it would just go. It would vibe. If the phone was off, the phone would turn on and then just go, and then shut back off.
Even if it's completely off.
There's people out there don't know you, don't even know you, just hate you for your fucking phone tone.
I would just I would spend like 17 hours straight just like 315-591-1111, 315-591-1112, 1112, 315-591-1113, and then send a mass text message until I got to 591-9999. Everybody in the 315 area code would just
unblockable number. You can't send text messages from like a hidden number, right?
No.
I don't think you can.
You can send text messages from China. Like
That's
from
true.
Those offshore apps.
Well, you probably could find a way to like fucking spoof your number.
There used to be
*69.
Well, yeah, there was an app when I was younger where you could send text messages from like unclaimed phone numbers.
Right.
But once that number was claimed by like AT&T or Verizon or whatever, you couldn't use it anymore. I can't remember what it was called.
Then that person's just blocked by everybody already.
Oh, God.
He's making a few good points.
You're standing pretty well.
Yeah, it's funny because when I used to live with him, he used to freestyle like pretty often. Like we would just put beats on or whatever. Or, like we'd play YouTube and like we'd just have the instrumental tracks of certain songs and he would just go over it.
That'd be fun shit. I used to do that with Kid Drip. Shout out to Terrence.
Shout out to Kid Drip.
Shout out to Kid Drip when he used to come over to my apartment. He was way better than me. But that's why he's the actual rapper and I'm the podcaster.
Yeah, it's funny because like rapping is just lyrics, like
It's
and
just
being
thinking
able
really
to
fast and
yeah. And even that though, like that's why I don't like listening to rap music. I'd rather listen to someone freestyle and come up with things off the top of their head. But even then, it's like you don't know how much they've rehearsed.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those lines that they're spitting out are already written.
I was gonna say you like Aesop Rock though.
Yeah, but he's also got like
He's
a melodic.
he's like a way different rapper.
Right.
Like I don't want to say it because it's such a generic thing to say, but I think he's he's like a methodical rapper.
Right.
Like he's almost
There's a difference. Like I get like I don't mind songs as long as the lyrics are fucking actually good. It's like most of the
Yeah.
time now the lyrics are just fucking diss tracks or stupid shit, like flaunting what they have and shit. Like here's my cars.
Or you get this like when I show you the Suicide Boys and it's just like I want to die, I want to die, I want to die.
Yeah.
You want to die, right? I want to die, I want to die, I want to die.
Yeah. you
Hopefully
should
I die. And then the second verse is like I want to die. You never understand what Ruby's saying.
I've been dying for like 37 years.
I've been trying this dying shit for like 44 years. I've died with the best of them.
Yeah. I like listening to like Sway in the morning where he'll just have a random guy come on and he'll be like, here's like 6 beats or whatever. They're going to switch after this many bars. Just fucking go.
You listen to Slug and Idea on that?
Maybe. I don't
On
know.
the Wake Up Show with Sway?
Yeah, Sway
right?
in the morning or whatever.
I think way back it used to be called the Wake Up Show. If I'm thinking of the same guy.
Sway is the dude that used to be on like MTV.
Okay, different guy.
He's not bad actually, like when he goes, but he's like, he was
I
a
think-
90s rapper, I think.
I think with rap you would like really anybody in Rhyme Sayers because their whole motto is like to not be like mainstream. A lot of mainstream rap. And I like a lot of mainstream rap. I like Kendrick Lamar. I like Tyler, the Creator, A$AP Rocky.
Yeah.
But a lot of their subject matter is shit that I can't relate to because I'm not first of all, I'm not rich. I don't get
Second
bitches.
of all,
I
you're
don't
not
do
like
drugs.
having sex with corpses like Tyler likes to rap about.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he has that.
Fuck a pregnant bitch and tell my friends I had a threesome.
He literally like eats a fucking cockroach in the video for
But like that
Yonkers.
was the thing, and that's what's so. That was I wish we could have Swamp on because Swamp got me into Tyler and All of Odd Future because it was like we already had liked rap, we liked Wu-Tang Clan, other rap and shit, and then all of a sudden Tyler and Odd Future comes in, and it's like what are they doing? They're like totally.
You were only like 14 or 15 when that came out, weren't you?
I was 13 when Yonkers came out.
What?
Wait, no. When did Yonkers come out?
Like,
I remember.
I want to say 2010, 2011.
10, I think. I want to say 10.
I was already an adult.
Yeah, it was. I remember that getting played a lot.
Okay, I was 15 when Yonkers came out. Yeah.
Damn.
Because I remember Swamp and I were sort of fringe friends in middle school, and then in high school, every year of high school we had at least 2 or 3 classes together, and that's how we became really good friends. And I just remember we would be in gym class and just like verbatim reciting the entire album that Yonkers was on. Like Derville was there too, because Derville was in our grade, kind of.
To me, it's like every once in a while I'll find like a song that has a beat that I'm like, yeah, that's really fucking cool.
Yo.
But like most of the time, it's like it's just the same kind of shit, and then they're just trying to spit as fast as they can over it, or
Danny Brown is good for that.
Yeah.
for beats and shit.
Danny Brown's really good. I was going to say, that's the thing I like about the Suicide Boys a lot, because they make their own beats.
Yeah.
So, like, and each song is completely different. Like, you'll
See,
have an
but that's
entire...
what's so stupid to me is that like, how is that something that stands out? Shouldn't that be part of it anyway?
Yeah, no,
you know,
that's
like,
the thing, is it became a...
It
maybe
should be
it's like
every
a
rapper
tribute
should make their own
Yeah.
beats. Like,
thing. I think every rapper should write their own songs, too. Like,
right.
I'm actually kind of glad that nowadays, when a rapper gets ousted for having a ghostwriter, they kind of get, like, you know, negativity because...
Yeah.
You know, I feel like rap is a very personal
Yeah,
type of
like,
music. It's probably
Yeah.
the most personal. It's like slam poetry.
It's basically
It's
poetry,
kind of
but
slam poetry.
yeah.
And like, if somebody else is writing your shit for you, then do you really care about
But
it?
it's like, yeah, but it's like, is it even you at that point?
It makes me think of that fucking Nathan
Like-
For You episode with The Movement, where they have the
Yeah,
ghostwriter.
yeah.
Oh, I was friends with Steve Jobs.
Decapitates his bottle with it.
I watched a little boy get eaten by baboons.
Yeah, man. At a certain point, you're just like a mouthpiece, you know.
Yeah, and I mean,
Drake.
yeah,
Isn't his name
Pusha
not?
T, dude, Pusha T, the diss track Pusha T put out on Drake is the most brutal diss track anyone has ever put out on anyone ever.
It's actually
disgusting.
Isn't
kind of
Drake's
hard.
name not even Drake?
No,
pretty
it's
sure that's
Aubrey. His real name is Aubrey.
I didn't even know that.
Aubrey. Well, I can see why he changed it, or I can see why he goes by something else.
I believe Drake is actually his middle name. Aubrey Drake Graham.
Oh, yeah. You might as well take the middle one then, because you ain't
Aubrey Drake Graham Barney. It's just it'd be perfect. He can like run cross country, rap, and play Magic the Gathering at the same time.
Yeah. That's tough to do. You'd almost have to have a table that's like attached to you. You know?
Like the guys that sell Dr. Pepper at the college football
Yeah,
games,
yeah.
but it's a Magic the
Let's
Gathering.
go,
Or no, you would need one of
Bulls,
those Yu-Gi-Oh things that you have the card in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those arm. See, I was alive for
Well,
those.
no, the guy for the Bud Light
Yeah.
commercials. Remember him?
No, Dr. Pepper you're thinking of.
No, the Bud
Yikes.
Light guy.
Probably, I don't know.
No,
I
but
gotta play
Pusha
that
T's
commercial 'cause
Drake
it's great.
diss track on Drake,
Well, I would
blew
hope it was on
Drake
Drake.
in. Like, Pusha blew Drake in for having a secret child with a porn star, and then it equated, like, Drake's own upbringing with a deadbeat father and compared Drake to his deadbeat father for having this child and keeping it secret and basically, like, paying off this porn star he had a kid with to, like, keep this kid secret and not bring it into the country.
Wait, I also thought that Drake was like doing shit with underage girls. Was that?
Oh,
just
that's a whole separate thing. The girl from Stranger Things, he was like getting real close with her, like to a creepy.
I've never
degree.
seen it. Is she underage?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay,
she is.
cool.
yeah.
Well, that's fine.
You've seen this commercial, all right? I'm pretty sure. I've showed it to you, I think. I think Vinny was here when I showed it to him.
Let's go, Bud. Be awesome to have this guy around all the time. Let's go, Bud Light.
Oh, okay. I've seen this commercial.
It's so good.
Lights all around. Let's go. Right here. Yep, right here.
The shower beer.
Right here. Let's go. Right here. Let's go.
What? Is this a Super Bowl commercial?
This is where you belong.
I don't know when it was played. It might have been the Super Bowl.
I'll go before I change my mind.
I don't think it was. I think it was this was a normal commercial.
Yeah, and then it got overshadowed.
It's too good to be.
They started doing
normal
they started
commercial.
doing Dilly Dilly.
Yes, that's
Yo.
what took it over.
Dilly Dilly, what, dude? Dilly Dilly took over a commercial.
How
God,
did it
dude.
take over that though?
It's
That was so
such
good.
a stupid meme. Like Dilly Dilly became a thing that like my dad and me and a bunch of other people like. You just say
Yo.
Dilly Dilly and you
It
know
doesn't
what you
even.
mean. Like,
Yo.
Yeah, it doesn't even make any sense. I don't
that's the
even-
best part about it. Because they're all wearing they're wearing medieval armor made out of Bud Light boxes.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good. The Bud Night.
Dude, it's the Dilly Dilly extended universe.
Yeah,
I need to get on Bill's level. Like,
I still think I don't know. I feel like they should have kept with the ice cold guy. You know,
I don't know,
I'm pretty sure wasn't there a commercial where he was like in bed with his girlfriend and the guy came in, or was that a different thing? I was.
I
thinking
don't
of? Was it a
remember
porno?
that. The one Bud Light commercial I really remember is like
Don't say the Clydesdale.
no, they get like a fire station like pole installed in their house, and like the chick's trying to pole dance on it, and someone just comes sliding down it and just owns her.
I don't know what you're talking.
what does that have to do with Bud Light?
I don't know what you're
don't
talking
know.
about. They just like commit assault and just throw beer around.
You know, that guy that was in that commercial is the same dude that played Stan in South Park on that
What?
one episode where they remember where they're on the boat or whatever. No, they go zip lining, and at the very end, it goes into like live action, and it has Artie from the YouTube shit.
He would know this.
It's the same guy that plays
You
Stan
would know that.
because Artie plays Cartman in that
Who is
part.
Artie?
What?
Artie, the guy who does he was
Artie
like a
Lang.
big Artie, the strongest man in the world or whatever from YouTube. You don't remember him?
No,
I think
do know
he did
Artie Lang,
the-
though.
Artie Lang, the man with the weakest nostrils in the world.
I'm gonna see if I can find him. Because
They were the strongest at one point. Like,
They got a good workout.
what is the thing they say in Futurama? Like, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is spongy and bruised.
Yo.
That's Artie Lang's nostrils. Death by snoo.
Oh man.
snooze.
I don't think I could make love to a woman that's 3 times my size.
I'm 3 times the size. I don't know, but like
If she was like 8'8",
I don't know, maybe like 6'2" and able to throw you
No,
around.
no,
I could
what?
go
6'2"
for,
is
but-
like 6'2" is only like a few inches taller than us, though.
yeah,
You know who
exactly.
it
But
was,
like
though?
6'2" and built and like throwing you around, I could go for. I feel like
Punches
maybe
the microphone.
You know who it
like
was?
full blown Amazon. I don't know, but like
Like
the
like
just-
what would you do if Brittany Griner or like Brianna Stevens or whatever the fuck?
Don't even get into that because that's a dream.
What, the WNBA? Yeah, it is a
Dude,
dream.
this draft class of the WNBA is like so many cuties, dude. Katie Lou Samuelson of the University of Connecticut. Like, you know, Alexa Bliss, WWE.
He played
Katie
Kyle.
Lou
I was wrong.
Samuelson is Alexa Bliss with another foot of height.
See, there he is. That's him as Kyle.
Dude, that's too good.
And it's Brandon Hardesty as Cartman. The guy who did I've discovered something amazing with the fucking like toilet paper rolls or whatever. Yeah, and that.
Yeah, dude, look at, I'm telling you, like,
She doesn't have a chin.
who needs one? I mean,
You
your
don't.
balls just hang there. Who needs a chin?
You don't need a chin, honestly. As weird as that sounds. Like, what use is it, you know?
Towel folding.
Dude, I'm telling you, Alexa Bliss, but a foot taller. That's
the only thing you use it for.
Samuelson.
I like that you can just pick those names out of a hat. Like,
And then there's Alana Smith, who played at Stanford. She's Australian. See, that's the quickest route to, like, basketball patrician status, is to know the WNBA.
okay, Alana Smith could get it. Dude, Alana Smith could get it, but not in Alabama, because she would definitely want an abortion.
Missouri, too.
Yeah, classic Missouri.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I wanted to talk about abortion. It's going to be a super quick topic for us.
We'll just skim over it.
Because, like,
I don't care. I'll get into it.
this is the only thing I'm going to say, because I can't say this with women around, because it turns into this whole thing. I didn't know it was actually still a big deal.
Yeah,
I'm serious. No, I'm serious. I literally thought that, like, across the board, abortion was like, whatever.
no, people.
And it
just,
wasn't until recently that I realized that you couldn't just get an abortion.
Yeah. My thoughts on it, I feel like when I was growing up, they told me, like, oh, you can fucking hold some speakers up to your belly and play classical music and your baby will be smarter for it. I feel like when you hit that point where your baby can get smarter listening to Beethoven, that's the point where it's not legit anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like that should be pretty cut and dry.
I think,
if you can listen to music, I don't think you can legally get snuffed.
I want to just make this point. This is me personally, Jake talking. I am completely pro-choice. But I also have a lot of questions. Like,
yeah,
we
but
don't
also
know
it's
shit
like about it.
We don't know shit about it.
Isn't there research that, like, plants react differently to music and shit too?
Yeah.
Broccoli.
So, like, it's
broccoli
kinda
is
weird.
alive, is a thing I've read.
I mean, it's just a frequency. That's all it is.
But I was just gonna say, like, you know, I think the big debate isn't abortion. I think the big debate is actually what is life.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You
what
know.
it comes down to.
And I
don't think the heartbeat. I don't think that's a bad spot to pick, knowing as much as we know. Like, if it has a heartbeat, you can't kill it. Given as much as we know, I think that's a good guideline for now, but it's something we should definitely be doing more research into.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a really.
I think either way, though.
Abortion is one of those things. Oh, go ahead.
Well, it's like, I think either way, I think if you kill your fucking child, you have to live with the fact that you should be aware that you killed something, basically.
Like a potential.
Yeah,
life.
like you basically killed it. Like,
And I think a lot of women rather, are aware of the fact. And I really don't think. I think they say statistically less than 1% of abortions are pregnancies that are aborted due to the product of rape or incest.
Yeah.
Most, if not all, of abortions that occur because the woman can't afford, knowingly can't afford.
it's like, then it's like that's
Which
part of
is,
the argument.
Like,
is
I
like,
support. I generally support abortion. I definitely support like Planned Parenthood and shit. But yeah,
It's just that
there
we
is
shouldn't-
there is a line that where after this you're killing something. We don't know where that line is yet.
It's pretty objective, honestly.
Yeah, but the fucked up part is I feel how do you figure out where that line is without doing some blatantly
sketchy,
immoral science shit like
fucking
some Unit 731
I was
shit.
just gonna say
That's the thing, is everyone just has a different idea of where it begins.
Yeah,
So that's
and I think that's where it comes down to. I don't think
you also shouldn't have to have a kid if you got raped. Like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't necessarily be forced to
And
have
you
it.
should,
Yeah,
if you
Even Trump is like, yo, no, incest or rape, get rid of that shit. And
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like the new Alabama shit, that's clearly going way too far. I think everybody should be able to agree on that. Like, it just split into fucking 4 or 8 or 16 cells, then that's nothing. That's just...
I think
It's a
people,
period.
The people that are the most up in arms about it are the ones that are up in arms about any topic.
Right. But also, if you go back far enough, it's like every time you jizz, you're killing a bunch of potential lives, right?
True.
Yeah, so where's the line end? It's
I mean,
obviously after coming.
They're potential lives.
It's just a whole thing, man, and it's like a thing that we can't firmly grasp.
Right. I mean, think about how many kids have been aborted into
We
tissues.
could, but it
what?
takes some
Into tissues.
sketchy shit to get there.
You know?
Into tissues. I
Yeah.
thought you were
Or
saying
socks or whatever.
Like, do you ever read up on it? Like, all the, like, that Unit 731, like, the Japanese doing all that fucked up research in World War II on the war prisoners and stuff. Like, there's a lot of medical data that came out of that
Yeah,
that
there
we
was.
use to
It was
this
insane.
day. Like,
I mean-
most of what we know about frostbite is because of highly unethical experiments the Japanese did on their war prisoners.
And
And
I
it-
was just gonna say that a lot of other knowledge we know as far as
Yeah,
weapons.
it
and
comes
stuff
from unethical sources.
Germany.
Yeah.
A lot of German scientists,
Dude, it's
researchers,
so
and generals and shit.
fucking crazy.
They
this
were basically
Nazi
like,
regime was
you
not that
you
long
can either
ago.
be you can either be executed or in prison for life, or you can work with America, give us all your secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people are acting like just now America was always like this shady place.
Well, yeah. Well, everywhere's fucking shady. There's
Exactly.
always
But
people
we're number
who are
one.
fucking
We're on
shady.
the spotlight.
And that really, it brings
We get
up
the
a
gold
lot
buzzer.
of ethical questions. Like, if you can save somebody's life with information that was derived from these wildly unethical, cruel experiments, like, where do you place that, like, from an ethical standpoint?
Yeah, that's actually a very fair assessment.
It's weird because we also get to this point where we're just trying to save every life, and that's why we have
But
so
then
many
the same
people.
people that are complaining are about, the same people that are pro-life are the same people that are like there's overpopulation.
Yeah.
And the
It's
same
weird,
people
like-
that like the same I know people that are like pro-choice, but then they're also like, anti-transgender,
Yeah.
It's like you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like,
Yeah.
I know, it's a
It's
weird
this-
place to be. Like, I feel like a lot of my views on it kind of line up with, like, the Louis C.K. bit. Like, abortion, it's a little bit killing a baby, but I feel like women should be allowed to kill babies. Like, life isn't that important.
yeah.
They're also wicked not aware that they're alive, I would imagine.
Yeah. Up to a point, and that's the ultimate question:
Yeah.
is where is that
Like,
point?
does a pregnant woman, if you're doing a census, does a pregnant woman count as 2 people?
No,
But
that's the other question.
Then
that
at the
comes
same
up.
time, though, like if a pregnant woman dies in a car crash, I brought this up at work actually, and it wasn't a debate. It was more like I work with mostly women, and I was asking them like, okay, so if an abortion, you're not killing a person. Well, what if you're on your way to get an abortion and you die in a car crash? Then it's a double vehicular homicide. So what?
And
what's
those are
the-
questions that are
who's
being
deciding?
brought up. Like there's a law. I think it's Georgia has a law where, like, if you have a miscarriage, but it was preventable, like, you might be able to be charged for it. And that's just absurd.
I was reading
to
about
me.
that. Yeah, if they could determine that the miscarriage was self-inflicted.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah,
That's
and I just want to make
ridiculous
this
in
completely
my
clear.
book.
We're all pro-choice, but we have an insurmountable amount of questions, and you can't really ask people about this without people getting upset.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Well, it's like I
especially
don't,
especially right now.
I
like
don't
today.
remember anything from when I was born. So, they
I don't even
probably
remember
don't.
what I had for breakfast.
I feel like there's no way they have the mental comprehension at that point to
Yeah.
understand what's happening. So It's a weird gray area.
I don't
dude.
know,
Like,
the ethical, like, sense, like, at what point, developmentally, like, do they have enough, like, nervous system structure to be able to feel pain and shit?
yeah. And also, you don't know what kind of pain it is.
Yeah.
Because we weren't aborted.
Right. Well, you wouldn't remember it anyway, because it's too long ago.
We could have been aborted and then just be in like a dreamland limbo right
Yeah,
now.
like, my earliest
turtle's dream.
memories are, in my experience, it's generally much earlier than most people's earliest memories. Like, I remember shit from when I was 2 years old.
That's weird, though.
Yeah,
But it's like they're mental snapshots to me. Like it's not. And also, I don't know how much like of when I was 6. Like I can remember certain things,
Yeah.
but I don't know how accurate it is.
yeah.
No, human memory is like one of the least accurate things in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember vividly, I vividly remember the trailer that I lived in when I was a baby, like up until I was 5.
I don't remember anything about the first house
We lived in a trailer, and it was just it was like, you know, you walk in, living room, to the left was the kitchen, and all the way to the left was the bathroom and my parents' room, and then to the right was my room.
Yeah.
It was like just a single wide trailer.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
were
I have
probably
so
there, I
many
don't know,
fucked
dude.
up stories from when I was that young. Like when it was the second
hang on,
house
hang on,
we
hang on,
lived
hang on.
in. It was a trailer out in New Haven because I lived in New Haven until I was like 5 or 6.
Well, I was like 5 when he was in his trailer, so I remember it.
But like I don't know, the memories I have specifically, like myself, I remember being 2 years old, and in the first house I lived in, that we had a staircase from upstairs to downstairs, and there were doors at either end of it, and I remember, like, closed both the doors on the staircase, and me and my dad would just throw a ball up and down the stairs.
Yeah.
That's 2 years old, I remember that.
Dude, I used to do that until I was like fucking 5.
Yeah.
Throw the ball up the stairs and then try and catch it when it comes down and shit.
Yeah.
And then get annihilated by it when it hits the edge and missiles off into your face.
But I remember I missed a few months of kindergarten because of when I moved from New Haven into the city. And I don't know, it's just really weird to remember stuff from back then. Like I must have been 2 or 3. I remember trying to go to sleep at night and a loud whirring noise and like lights coming in my windows from outside, and it wasn't until 10 or 15 years later like I realized, like, oh, I was scared shitless by snowplows going down 104
It's
when
a
I
lot
was
of-
like 2 years
Yeah,
old.
a lot of times it's like a traumatic situation where it registers really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was abused. Well, all 3 of my siblings were abused when we were kids, but I was out of that house by the time I was like 5. I still flinch sometimes, like when people go to high five me out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think some people just do that anyway, like
Well, yeah.
naturally.
But it's just
Oh,
very
yeah.
strange. I
is
remember.
It's a natural reaction, though. You're supposed to do that, right? You're
Like-
supposed to avoid.
Yeah, but like, you know, when it's my dad going to wave to me, you know, and I know he's
Yeah.
not gonna hit me, probably
Yeah.
not. He's
Right.
never hit me. I was gonna say, I distinctly remember, like, one of my favorite memories as a kid was when Medieval first came out and my dad bought it and we were playing
wow.
it on the big screen TV.
I remember reading about that in the first video game magazine I ever bought.
Yeah,
And,
you were,
like,
like,
I remember
12.
it has this, I think it's that game, has this item. It's called like foot cheese or something. And it's just blocks of cheese you wear on your feet and it lets you walk across like spikes and shit.
Yeah. That game
That's
was
realistic.
crazy, and I remember whenever my dad would play it, I had to leave the room in the opening cinematic because the opening cinematic, either you couldn't skip it or my dad wouldn't skip it, but you would have Sir Daniel or whatever his name, I think it's Sir Daniel, smile,
it was.
and he's missing his lower jaw, and he would smile, and it
Yeah.
would freak me out wicked bad, and I'd run and hide.
Well, you
The
don't
thing
need,
that
you
did
don't
that
need
for
a chin.
me, when I was a kid, have you ever seen the movie Mars Attacks?
I've never seen that. No.
It's a Tim Burton
It's
movie.
amazing. It's the best
And,
movie ever
like,
made.
some of, like, I remember a part when I was a kid, like, the Martians just blasting people with their fucking laser guns, and, like, they disintegrate, and, like, all you'd see is, like, their skeletons and shit. And I remember being that young, and it scared the fuck out of me.
You've never seen that movie?
No, I haven't.
Dude, it is so good.
Yeah, it's like an ensemble cast, dude.
It had Pierce Brosnan. Jack Nicholson played 2 different parts. Jack Black is in it.
I know I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's Tim Burton.
Mel
so
Brooks
it's
had a
gotta be at least
cameo.
decent.
Jim Brown was in it. Danny DeVito was in it. Dude, it was a... No, we got to look up the cast now because that...
Cleveland Brown's legend.
I
remember
can't
there
believe
was
that you've
a-
never seen it. It's amazing.
There was a game that I played when I was young that was like fucking kind of scary called Zombies Ate My Neighbors for the...
Yo.
Oh, fuck that game.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
for like...
old school Xbox, wasn't it?
It was
No, it
like...
was like Sega Genesis.
Yeah, it was like Nintendo or
Oh shit! Okay.
something. You used to like jump on... You were like jumping on trampolines and shit. It was like a top-down like shooter. And you were running from zombies. You would jump on trampolines to get over fences and shit. It
Yeah.
didn't make any sense.
So Mars Attacks had Jack Nicholson, Glenn Close, Pierce Brosnan, Danny DeVito, Martin Short, Sarah Jessica Parker, Michael J. Fox, Tom Jones, Natalie Portman,
Tom Jones.
and Jim Brown.
Yeah, that's...
And that's only that's all the characters with names. The rest of the characters were unnamed, but they were all still like really big actors and actresses at
Yeah.
the time.
Is that when Tim Burton had clout?
Yeah, and then he made The Corpse Bride. What was that?
I saw that once and I remember nothing about it.
I
Yeah,
don't
no,
remember
I
that.
have that on DVD, and I know I've seen it at least 2 or 3 times.
And
I
it's
don't
great
remember
every
shit.
time. Yeah.
I remember, I think the plot was the main character gets sent to like the undead world and wants to go back to the living world to be with his wife.
There's always different worlds every
and
time
then
he does
he realizes that the undead zombie princess is his true love. So
Classic.
no,
Does he have any movies where there's only one world?
no, he doesn't.
I don't think
what
there
the fuck is the plot? He tries to kill him.
Sweeney Todd.
No, because there was the music world and the speaking word world.
What? Oh,
Sweeney Todd was half musical, half movie.
Yeah, but they're not different.
Sweeney
worlds.
Todd was Edward Scissorhands.
Like, I feel like every time
that
he
was
has
a
a...
Tim Burton movie, wasn't it?
Edward
Or was
Norton
that
Scissorhands.
Was that Mel Brooks?
No, that wasn't Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks' version of Edward Scissorhands would be the best movie of all time. Because they'd be like the safety scissors, and he would try and kill people and just like give them like little rub burns.
No,
Or no, it'd be the kooky scissors that are like zigzagged.
I need some. I was gonna say, don't joke around with scissors. Scissors are some. That's some bad news, man.
Yeah,
I
they're not
did
good.
trim my body hair with scissors. That's a bad move.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to use scissors.
Why would you like scissors like that you would use to cut paper with? Or
Yeah.
that,
No,
Because
the
I don't
the squiggly
trust-
ones.
I mean, I shave with an electric shaver. I don't trust sharp objects in general.
Yeah.
But I feel like I have more control with a pair of scissors
Sure,
than
yeah.
just like an electric shaver that's constantly going.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're just shoving it down there like, oh, this is pretty dicey.
With scissors, you definitely have more choice. You know,
Yeah.
there's more of a like.
But at the
accuracy.
same time, I have definitely felt the pitch. I've definitely thought that I've clipped a hole in the sack before.
oh, a pinch. You said pitch.
Yeah, you're cutting.
you
So
mean
you're cutting
pinch?
close, though. You're cutting real close.
Yeah. I mean, at some point you have to. Well,
I'm
I
thinking
don't know
about-
how it works for you guys, but
I use
If
I
I
use an
just let
electric
that
razor. I
shit
go
go, it
bald.
would get
I'm
bad.
I'm bald from like, you know, the tops of my
does
knees.
he
the
does his
the
calves.
tops of my knees to my hips is barren.
see, that's what I need. I need to get some Nair or something.
Well, yeah, just do like a laser thing.
Well, I have one of those razors, the electric razor that's the 3 blades, and you just hover over.
Yeah.
Because contrary to
I
popular
don't-
belief, with those razors,
I
you're
don't
not supposed
trust
to
those.
press into your skin. You're supposed to
Yeah.
hover right above your skin.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my problem because like I will even cut myself with an electric shaver.
Okay, yeah, then you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about. I gotta shave my beard off, dude. I'm about like
I
done
don't
with
know.
it.
That's pretty some high level.
How long
beard
have you been
right
growing
there.
that out?
For a long fucking time, and I'm about like done with it, dude. I'm about over it.
I don't know.
As soon as it gets
you
hot,
might have to grow the hair out before you ditch the beard.
At
No,
least
I want
trim
the
it
be-
to like a number 2.
I want the Bill Burr look.
Like
you know?
have it be like thick like my goatee.
Yeah. It's gonna be like a 2.
I was gonna say, well,
It's not gonna
my
be
goatee's
gone.
probably like a 4.
Yeah.
But you
I
trim
just
your,
want it to be like like a ruffled look, you know, like the,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
scruffy kind of thing. Yeah. I want the Bill Burr look, you know. The old ginger guy.
I don't
'Cause
know. It's
I just feel like
hard
it's
to think. Like, I don't know if I'd let that go, man. It's quality right there.
it's just too much, you know.
I think I would have to stop doing the show with you if you shaved
The
your
thing is, like, I do this a lot. Like, I play with it.
Yo,
a lot.
dude, like I had like a goatee, like not even a centimeter long, and I would constantly just find myself just stroking the beard, man.
It's funny because the last time I shaved off my long beard, I kept going to do this,
Yo.
like to fucking
Like
play
you
with
just
it.
find
And then
yourself
I riff.
rubbing your chin. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah,
Do you even have a chin? You don't need one.
I don't
but
think
do you
it's
have
there
one?
anymore. I haven't seen it in a while, so I don't know.
I still do.
You know
it.
what you
It's
should
been
do?
months.
You know what we should do is we should go to Good Guys and you should get a straight razor shave.
Yeah, no.
Dude, I've
Well, are you scared?
I
too
had
straight.
like a beard for a month until I quit, and I will like it's at least 6 months later, and I will still find myself just stroking the chin.
Yep.
It's bad.
I like the feel of like a fresh, like close shave, though. You know, it's got that like it's a weird like everything's
There
on
is
the same
there
level.
like I
that
only shave if
smoothness.
I'm going
Yeah.
out. There's nothing better than like when I let this like my cheeks, you know, my neck. I let that grow out for like a week or so, and then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get spiffy, go out, you know, put on a nice pair of slacks, throw on a dress shirt, nice black belt, and then I shave with a safety razor though. 'Cause
It just
Mama
feels
didn't
nice
raise
when
no
it's
junk.
like short, but it's like just all on the same level, and you can run your hands across it and be like, "Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about."
Yeah, where this is right now. I wanted to shave. I wanted to shave before I came, but I didn't because I was drinking beer.
I
and
think when
listening
it
to
gets
Opeth.
hotter out, it's like I don't know if I want to have like this, you know.
What if Katie leaves you?
Well,
What if she's like,
it's
I'm only in it for the beard?
a loss I'm gonna have to
She
take.
just takes the beard hairs out of the garbage and leaves.
Fuck it, YOLO.
Spread the beard hairs like ashes into the river.
If you can't handle me at my beard, you don't deserve me at my goatee.
Yeah, I used to have a goatee like the Steve Austin look, you know. That's cool too. I don't mind that.
What, like mine?
Like, yeah, just with nothing on the sides, just stone cold, you know.
Or you
See,
walk
I
into
don't-
a room,
I like-
you gotta bust out a window.
Yeah.
I like a goatee, but the only reason I don't go with the beard is because Seth has a beard. So if Seth loses
it's
the
copyrighted though, so I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I have
Dude,
the
no,
paperwork
like-
somewhere.
No, dude, like I felt I have one of those fucking newsboy caps, and I feel like I can't wear it because I'm just fucking aping you.
Yeah. Those are cool. I love those things. They're like they're Irish as fuck, you know.
See, but I don't like a tight goatee.
See, I tried to go with just the chin patch because, like, up here on the cheeks, like on the jawline, it will not grow in. Like, I will have patches that are just straight skin.
Yeah.
So I can't. I would have to put a lot of work in if I had to do a full beard,
Right.
and it's just more work than I'm willing to do.
See, I don't understand because I had to start shaving when I was like 11.
Yeah, it's like I almost want to do the Ricky, like the Trailer Park Boys thing, you know.
Like the chin strap.
They're
with the
just
goatee.
long sideburns and a chin strap.
There's a guy that wanted me to do the mustache and a chin strap, but keep the chin.
Yeah.
What do they call it? A Mobius. So
Yeah.
you do here, and then you shave the chin, and then leave the mustache.
I didn't have.
I mean, you can see the line where, like, on your cheeks, it's a little thinner than just down the jawline. I mean, you can pull it off.
I think I had like the Grizzly Adams ones without the mustache.
The thing is I'm probably gonna grow this out until my birthday, because every year on my birthday I rock a handlebar, and then my dad and I go to the bar together.
Yeah.
And then nobody knows who's who.
Nice.
That happened last. Well, neither. This
the
year, you guys
handlebar
got to go.
works though for
The
some reason.
handlebar is so good with my dad.
Like, dude,
now.
when Aaron Rodgers puts it on, he looks so goofy with it because Aaron Rodgers does
'Cause-
not. Like,
well, the thing is, with a handlebar, you're like, that looks really stupid. Then all of a sudden, you're like, wait, no, he's actually doing pretty well.
yeah, Aaron Rodgers is like, I'm 49 for 53 with 400 yards. So
Yeah, every
I have
time
a
I have,
handlebar.
every time I have a handlebar, I'm only looking for 49 to 53-year-olds.
Just getting in someone's face about, like, say something.
yeah, it doesn't
I'm
matter. He throws 5
goddamn-
touchdown passes and no interceptions.
Like, I think the thing is, when I have the handlebar mustache and people see me, they're like, oh, well, that's just Jake with a handlebar. And then that's it. But I feel like if I was a stranger somewhere, like if I went to, like, you know, Lincoln, Nebraska with a handlebar, they'd be like,
Yeah.
what's your deal, man? What's going on?
What's your pronoun? What's your
Yeah.
name? What's your pronoun?
How do you feel about abortion?
That's what they always ask you there too. It's funny.
Yeah, every time I've been to Nebraska, they're just like, hey,
What's your take?
what's your take on abortion? Abortion and corn. Like, that's all they do.
Yeah, you have to basically wear it on your forehead so that nobody asks. You gotta get the face tattoos, you know? We should just open a face tattoo
Parlor?
spot, yeah. Only for face tattoos. Like, you can't get it anywhere else.
Temporary face tattoos.
Yeah, like henna tattoos. Like,
And a face
but they're not even like, we just get them from like those fucking
vending machines.
yeah, like a Walmart or some shit. And they last like a day and a half, if that.
Imagine being the CEO of that fucking idea. Like the patent holder of temporary tattoos.
Dude, he's killing it, dude.
Dude,
That dude's
guaranteed.
rolling, and he's got them all over his body. Every day he has them reapplied by a bunch of bitches. Time for your tattoos. He's like fucking 97.
Okay. Takes him like 30 seconds to lift up his sack.
Yeah, has to get one tattooed under his nuts.
Has to get the taint
The
tatted.
gooch, yeah, the gooch tattoos. Yeah, it's really weird, and they're always like cartoon characters too. Like, you can't get those that are like reasonable things. Although sometimes there's the tribal ones, which, you know, nobody's actually from those tribes ever. I don't even know what tribes they're from or what they're for.
I always thought temporary tattoos were weird because they're marketed towards children.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, it's weird. No one complains about that.
Right?
Yeah, because they're always. That's what I mean. They're always.
They're next to the
cartoon
gumballs and stuff.
Yeah, and it's got fucking Hey Arnold on it and shit. Isn't there a dude from... What was the thing that... I just heard something about a show, like a cartoon that made a character gay out of nowhere.
Arnold.
Was it Arnold?
Yeah, the teacher.
It was one of the
Or the
older
principal.
shows. Is
They had
Arnold's-
they had an episode where a guy character married another guy character.
So, I didn't even know that was making episodes still. Like, what?
I thought Arthur was canceled like 7 years ago. I legitimately did. I remember
Okay,
reading
Arthur's the dude that's like a fucking chipmunk or some
He's an
weird looking
aardvark.
shit. Is that what he is?
Yeah.
What a weird fucking character. I thought that show had no value whatsoever. Like, there was nothing entertaining about it.
Dude, the only kids show that I really had any value with was Blue's Clues.
Blue's Clues was great. I learned most of my shit there, you know.
Little Bear was good.
I learned all my colors and my numbers from Blue's Clues. Well, not really. They helped pound it into your
Well, I'm
brain.
just trying to think of other kids shows that I remember watching. What was the one about the turtle? Arnold? No. Tortle?
You said Arnold for like all of them.
No, it's Arthur the Aardvark, Blue's Clues.
It was
What's the
Hey
turtle?
Arnold
Franklin.
was the-
Franklin the turtle. That one was retarded.
Yeah.
I hated that show.
It's Franklin.
Exactly.
Yeah. We used to call my brother Franklin all the time because he looked like a turtle when he was younger.
Max and Ruby. Were you around for that one or no?
I heard of that. I never watched it.
About the two bunnies. One of them was a deaf mute. The other one was a bunny.
That's good. They were both bunnies, though, right?
Mm-hmm. Their parents were dead.
How come these cartoons they're always animals? They're never fucking like. And then when Hey Arnold is a fucking kid, has the head of a football for some reason.
Crashbox.
Like,
Crashbox
is it marketing?
was a good kid show.
They're trying to make him look like, specific. I guess that's what it is, maybe. So you can pick them apart. Like a
We're
distinctive.
talking about kid shows.
Like you want like when you come up with a kid show, you want your character to have a distinctive look to separate it from everything else.
Move it, football head.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And then it's all anthropomorphic fucking animals and shit.
Yep. I was just reading. It was just yesterday. It came up on Reddit. Like the only movie to gross over $1 billion worldwide with no human characters is Zootopia.
Oh, I remember that movie.
Yeah.
Was that it wasn't a cartoon though, it was a computer
No,
animated.
it was CGI.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like after. That was somewhat recent though. Like it was like after Ice Age and shit. It was the same people.
That
I
was
think.
like 3-4 years ago tops.
Yeah, I think it was DreamWorks or something like that.
Was that the one with the rabbit that was a cop?
Yep.
Yeah.
I
I've never
saw
actually seen it,
Yeah,
but
I've never seen it either.
I heard that was actually good though. Like from what I heard, it was like because I was working at the theater at the time and people were talking about how good it was.
it probably was, but it was simultaneously like blatant furry bait.
I was just gonna
So
say, like,
everyone's gonna hate it regardless.
the only thing I know about Zootopia is the Rule 34. The porn.
Can't say I'm familiar. If I'm gonna do like, if I'm gonna go for like CGI porn, it's gonna be like
Overwatch.
Frozen.
Yeah, you got to get that Olaf grind, Olaf's
Straight
hot.
snow dick.
But isn't Olaf like always naked though? He's a snowman, isn't he?
I don't know. If you have buttons
Oh,
going
yeah, I
down
guess.
your chest, you supposedly.
So maybe
you
he's
should
just
be
wearing a white
something.
shirt. Yeah, theoretically. Like
Nah.
Frosty the Snowman, he had buttons.
I shouldn't get into. I shouldn't get into it while being recorded.
Careful there.
Go ahead.
But yeah,
Yeah, it's funny though.
the
I
two
just-
female leads in that movie. Shit, dude.
I don't think I ever saw it.
I don't know. I've seen maybe like 15 minutes of it at a time. It's Pixar, so it's
Yeah.
not going to be bad.
The last one I saw that was like a kids movie was Beauty and the Beast, like the newer one.
I haven't seen that at all.
I mean, it's if you know what Beauty and the Beast is, it's you know what it is. So
Come to think of it, I've seen either of them. I don't think I've seen.
I saw the cartoon one a bunch of times when I was a kid, but I didn't remember that much of it. I was kind of surprised at how much I remembered when I watched like the remake. It's
Yeah.
going to be interesting, like because I want to see Aladdin, but
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen the original of Aladdin.
I love Aladdin, dude. That's such a good movie.
You realize, I'm pretty sure I brought this up before because whenever it comes up, I bring it up. I don't know if it's been here, though. Do you know who the voice of Aladdin is?
I feel like I know where you're going with this because I feel like you've done this before, and
Yeah, exactly.
and it blew my mind. I don't remember.
Fucking
From the-
Full House.
Oh, yeah, I do remember this.
DJ's boyfriend, Steve.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
is the voice
It's the
of
same
Aladdin.
guy, really?
Yeah.
Not in the singing parts, obviously.
That's why there's an episode of Full House where they go to fucking Disneyland and they have a whole big thing with Aladdin.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. It's so weird because that
He
shit
never
happens
did,
all the
like,
time.
anything else, I don't think.
Yeah, that was his big gig.
You know,
Yeah, but what? That's like he's still making residuals off of Aladdin. Though,
he's
you know?
gotta be.
Talking about Robin Williams?
No.
Oh.
The voice of Aladdin in the original movie. I'm pretty sure I brought it up before. Do you know who it is?
No, but I didn't close the door all the way.
Again.
The voice of Aladdin in the Disney animated future is DJ's boyfriend Steve from Full House.
Why do you... I'm not even going to ask.
What do you mean? Why does he know that?
I'm not even going to ask.
That's the same thing people ask when I play Jeopardy with them. How do you know that?
Yeah.
How often do you
How
play
the
Jeopardy?
fuck do you know what an ombudsman is?
What's an ombudsman?
It's like a legal like consultant or something. Like ESPN had one for a while. It's someone who like looks back at like this is like ESPN's media coverage or something, like points out all the fucking shortcomings and shit. Like basically someone who criticizes the shit they work for and see shit they could be doing better and shit. That's
Like Scott Van
ombudsman.
Pelt, kind of?
Oh,
Yeah.
you mean the thing that Fox News and CNN don't have?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Say-
For real.
It's fucked up.
So I wanted to talk about movies for a second. I just watched this movie. I put it on Snapchat and Facebook. I watched this movie on Netflix. If you guys have Netflix, you should watch it out. Check it out.
Watch it out.
Watch it out. You should watch it out. It's called The Black Coat's Daughter. I'm obviously a gigantic horror guy.
I can't watch it if you're going to tell me to watch it.
I'm not going to tell you about it. I'm going to tell you, no, don't watch it.
Oh, shit. Now I have to watch it. I'm a contrarian.
Yeah. No, but it was very good. It's basically the plot is these two girls go to this like strict Catholic boarding school, and their winter break is coming up, and neither of their parents come to pick them up from the school for winter break. And you have the 14-year-old freshman, very quiet, has no friends, and then you have the 18-year-old senior that's super popular, does drugs and shit like that.
Sounds like a video I watched that was not a film.
Yeah. It probably ended differently,
It was
too.
probably an AVI. But yeah, it's very good. I think you guys should all check it out. I'm totally not getting paid by the directors of The Black Coat's Daughter to mention it.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish I was.
Right.
Paid
So it was very good.
show.
It
Yeah,
starts
hit us up.
It starts off as a very creepy, these two don't get along, they don't really like each other, and what the fuck is going on, to ramping up. And
That's when they have sex, right?
Oh, dude.
That's where it starts, yeah.
If only.
It always starts with a whirl, too.
But Emma Roberts is in it.
Yeah, that's always
Emma
the
Roberts
thing,
is in
like-
it, so...
Is there a porno that you've ever seen that doesn't start with oral? 'Cause I
I've
don't
seen
think
a
so.
couple.
Really? They just
I have
go
seen
in?
a couple.
Yeah,
but,
they're
like,
usually-
Without, like, a quick
They're
cut?
usually snuff films, though.
Oh. That makes sense.
It's always rough for me because I'm into lesbian shit, but lesbian oral just does nothing for me. So about 90% of what I'm looking into is just might as well not exist.
Wait, so
It's
you
a
just like
tough
it when girls are
existence.
kissing?
No, just like actually like grinding and like the whole thing and
Don't look me in the don't look at me in the eyes. Like, don't look at me in the eyes when you're explaining that shit,
I
dude.
need you to explain more
Like, what
porn
the
to me.
fuck?
Dude.
I wanted to
I feel
jump.
like you explaining porn is the best thing.
I wanted to run away when you looked into my soul. Like
I believe the technical terminology is tribbing.
he's not wrong.
Yeah, man, it's just like they really do all start with oral though. It's fucking weird because you gotta like maybe it's the lube situation they're trying to.
I
The
do.
most
think-
boring part of porn.
I was gonna say that doesn't most does most sex start with oral? Usually, like I feel like they cut out the first, like I would
It
say
depends.
90% of sex is kissing, feeling each other up, and foreplay, and then like 5% oral, and then 4.5%, getting ready to penetrate, and then 0.5% penetration.
It depends on what the scenario is, really.
Yeah.
If you're just trying to bang one out real quick behind the fucking old city or something,
Okay, then then you just go in. I mean, there's there's definitely a
I could pick
situational thing.
50 places that I would rather get a blowjob than outside of Old City. Like, inside of Old City would be one.
Yeah.
Like,
hell yeah, Taco Tuesday, dude.
yeah. Where's the beef?
Are you sure this is cooked all the way through?
Oh, looks raw. It looks blue. It's very bloody.
Oh man.
Yeah. They all end the same way too. I mean,
Money shots every time.
That's the point, isn't it?
I guess. I wonder how many people.
I think if more girls took loads to the face, then we wouldn't be having this abortion discussion.
Yeah.
True.
Because they wouldn't be getting pregnant; they'd just be getting.
Right. Yeah.
I can't even.
In some sense, you could almost say there is a moral imperative to let a dude finish on your face.
Right. Yeah, you pretty much have to. Right?
It's greener.
I mean, if you want to be a good person, then yeah, you pretty much have to.
The Green New Deal, I'm pretty sure, in like Appendix XII, take nuts to face. Like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure it says that. Yeah.
Swallow loads.
I think that was one of the amendments to the Constitution.
AOC could take my nuts to her face. I don't give a shit. I'll rank. What's her face? I'll rank Tulsi above her, but AOC could still get it.
Yeah. Tulsi.
Who's Tulsi?
Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard, dude. Democratic
She's running
candidate for president.
Oh, is she the one that was on Joe Rogan?
Yep.
Yeah,
No.
she was on there last
She
year.
doesn't do it for me.
AOC has a goofy fucking face. Tulsi at least looks better in the face.
Yeah. She's decent looking.
AOC definitely has her on the bottom.
I wonder how many people are
shit.
going to vote for her, like, based on that, you know?
Fair amount.
Because you know that shit happens.
I don't know. I got a bad feeling Trump's winning again. And
Oh, yeah.
like I assume it's gonna be some stupid shit. Like the Democrats are going to be killing it in the polls, and then like a month before the election, like some Antifa nut job is going to assassinate PewDiePie or some stupid shit, and Trump just fucking sweeps it.
Yeah.
See, I'm in the camp wherein there are too
Why
many.
doesn't PewDiePie just go for it, though, you know? Why doesn't he run?
He's
for
not
it?
35 yet, is he?
No,
That is the cutoff.
He's
younger.
not?
He's younger
No,
than you guys.
can't
are.
be. He's got to be my age.
He's like
at
26.
most.
Really?
Yeah, because he's not that much older than I am.
Huh.
But I was gonna say, I think the big thing with the 2020 election is going to be the fact that the Democrats won't have a person to put on, to have to run, and
they got
they're
like
gonna
20 something.
they're gonna have to have one person convince a majority of America within like less than a year.
Yeah,
I think when it gets down to like getting into the primaries is when
And
things are going to fall
it comes
apart.
down to the fact that Trump, like, as much as people don't want to admit it, most people in this country like Trump.
yeah.
When you look at approval ratings and everything like that, the rallies, the fact that he still goes to rallies and they're not only are they sold out, but the
Well, the thing is, like, to me, it's like approval ratings. It's like who's actually keeping track of that, and
See,
the only
the thing-
person who are gonna actually approve of him are the people who support him. It's like
Yeah.
most people aren't gonna fucking go out of their way to try and mess with that.
it
shit.
comes down to the fact that basically, and I'm about to be a hypocrite, statistics and approval ratings and stuff like that only matter if they go along with what you think.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I mean, fucking every single statistician and every analytics website was saying that Trump was going to lose in a landslide. And he ends up winning in a landslide.
Dude, it just happened in Australia.
Yeah,
the
it did just
Conservatives
happen.
just won Australia, and like that was the whole big thing.
They won
was,
by,
like,
Well, I
in their
think he-
media, like, oh, this is the climate change election. The liberals are gonna fucking sweep this. Well, I mean,
Or no, the Liberals did win it.
yeah, the liberals are the Conservative Party in Australia.
Yeah. Well,
And
the
Labour is their left-wing party.
to me, it was like the Electoral College is what really were what fucking won him the election.
Well, that's the way it should be, though.
Yeah. Like,
Because
because
when you-
there's Democratic candidates that are running on a platform of adding more justices to the Supreme Court and getting rid of the Electoral College.
Yeah.
And it's like, there are like 2 issues that could get me to vote against a Democratic candidate in this election, and those are both of them. It's ridiculous.
Because when you look at the numbers, it comes down to the fact that with the Electoral College, it goes by county.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't have the numbers offhand, but it's something like 326 counties in the whole country voted for Trump, and only like 20 or 30 something were on Hillary. But the thing is that it's all the metropolitan big cities always vote Democrat.
Yeah.
And everything else is always Republican. It just so happened that this time.
Yeah, there's a thing. That's the thing is, there's a reason the Electoral College is there, but at the same
Yeah.
time, like the more people we have,
Yeah,
the less reason there can be.
I know.
for
I
it.
agree. It needs to be adjusted and like recalibrated to reflect the population figures currently, but it definitely exists for an important
Right.
reason.
But
and
now
it
it's
should
like-
be kept around.
But also, it's like Trump basically understood how it worked and
Yeah.
manipulated that.
Yeah, and,
I don't
and
think
Hillary
he
just
didn't-
disregarded it.
I was going to
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
he didn't manipulate it. He did it the way you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Hillary blatantly disregarded. going
Yeah,
off what
Hillary
Bill said.
didn't even campaign.
The whole middle of the country
in
was
the
ignored.
Yeah.
flyover states.
You know, and it comes down to the fact, like, you know, a lot of the Democrats' platforms are, we're going to go to big cities that are primarily going to vote for us anyway, so what's the point of wasting time here?
Yeah, instead of winning
Instead
over
of
areas.
winning over the people that are kind of
Yeah.
mulling over the whole decision.
No, Hillary's entire 2016 campaign basically amounted to, go ahead, vote for Trump, I dare you. And it's no wonder she fucking lost.
She basically, she was just way overconfident in that she had it on lock.
Yeah.
It just,
You know?
in my opinion, it comes down to,
I think even the voters thought she had it on lock. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't know. I feel like
I thought she had it.
most people thought she was gonna win. It was just,
Yeah. You ever see the video of like fucking the Young Turks on election night? And they're just watching the results come in and just increasingly more and more fucking despondent.
The thing that's hilarious is, like, presidential elections is kind of like golf. Like, you get to
Yeah.
a point where you know that it's over.
Yeah.
And this is only coming from the fact that I've been playing the Golf Club PGA Tour 2019, which is,
I played that the other
dude,
last night.
it is such a good game. It is such a good game. I played it until like 11:30 o'clock last night, and I had work at 6 o'clock this morning.
God damn.
Like, I could not stop.
I just grabbed it because it was free, and I played like the tutorials and made like my character and shit, and then I shut it off. 'cause
Do
it
the
was-
PGA Tour mode, because they use actual registered courses.
yeah.
Oh, shit.
And at least in the golf club, I don't know if it's in this one, but in the last golf club game they made, Battle Island was in it.
Oh, shit.
And I played Battle Island. I don't know if it's in the new one.
That's crazy.
Shit, dude.
But yeah, you can create your own courses, and somebody created Battle Island like almost bit by bit.
God
And in the
damn.
very first one, they had the country club. Did I not talk about this before?
No.
I went into like as soon as like right before the Masters were going on, I bought the golf club one for like $4 or $5.
Brooks kept. Oh my god, are you watching the tournament that's going on right now?
Yeah, he's up by like 6 strokes or some
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, it's
Dude is
disgusting.
just owning everything.
Tiger's already out, isn't he?
Yo.
Yeah.
He missed the cut.
What a bitch.
I can't believe he won the last one, dude. I don't think I've been hyped for anything in sports,
Dude,
since Villanova beat UNC, like, to that level.
That was the first time I saw my dad cry in a long time. Was when Tiger Woods won the Masters.
Yo,
I'm serious. Like,
dude, I was ready.
Like, it was insane.
It's cool to see that comeback. Really, is what it is.
And a
like,
lot of
dude,
sensationalists.
Growing up, that was my dude. Like,
Yeah.
Nobody else was as good at what they did
How is that Mike
as
not falling
Tiger
out?
was at golf.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was fucking like so far above, and he made like I think he brought a lot of people into golf too to watch it and shit.
And like at his peak, like Jack Nicklaus might end up keeping the greatest of all time title just on like body of work.
Yeah.
But at his peak, Tiger was better at golf than anyone has ever been.
Right, yeah, he did like the Jordan thing and like popularized it in a way.
Yeah.
I think there was like a level that he was way above, and it was just there wasn't anybody on that tier.
Because of the point where like ESPN was signing contracts with golf instead of hockey.
Yeah.
Like that's how big Tiger Woods was. Where Tiger Woods was bigger than the entire NHL.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember like before I started playing tennis, and while I was playing tennis, you had Djokovic, Federer, Andy Roddick, Andy Murray, and Nadal. And like you just had those five, and even and they had that French guy, whatever the fuck his name was.
I remember when it was just Federer and Nadal.
Nadal was fucking ridiculous.
I remember the first tennis match I ever watched was Djokovic's first Grand Slam victory. I think I know he beat Federer at one point, but he also beat Tsonga.
Oh yeah,
Tsonga was like the number 2 ranked player, and
he was always
Djokovic,
like floating around, like
he
below
never
that
never won a
tier.
Grand Slam. He was like he was kind of like the West Virginia Mountaineers of tennis, where he's like always close but never gets it. And Djokovic fucking smoked him like 6-1, 6-1, 6-0, and then him and Federer went into extra. They went to overtime, and he beat Federer to win. I gotta look it up now because I remember freaking out.
It sounds like literally
that shit's crazy to think about. Like, we had the best arguably the 2 greatest tennis players of all time come up in their prime at the same time, and they're going back and forth with each other constantly.
Yeah.
And then Djokovic comes along and just houses them both for like 2-3 years in a row.
That's what I was gonna say, was like Djokovic came in and his whole thing was and this coming from a tennis player, like his whole thing was his returns. Like,
well, that's the thing is like he can find, like if you can find like the way they return the ball, it's like you know where to put it.
Yeah,
it's a matter of there's a mental game. It was just
so gross. Like the way he played, like the last thing that our tennis coach or any trainer would do is have you watch Djokovic to learn how to play, because he's so unorthodox. I mean, he would play in one point. He would go from like one-handed forehand to two-handed backhand to two-handed forehand to one-handed backhand. Like whatever way he could hit it, he would hit it, and he would hit it wherever he wanted to. But he just wasn't as athletic as Nadal or Djokovic or Federer. He was more of like he was just smarter. But Federer is he's the Tom Brady of tennis.
The greatest of all time.
Like I died on that hill of Djokovic being the GOAT, because Djokovic is rated number 1 right now, and he's still one of the best.
Yeah, he had a couple down years in between.
That's the thing, is like he went from like being cream of the crop to like disappearing, and now he's back.
Yeah,
but Federer,
what was it last year? The Aussie Open, where the final was Federer versus Nadal, like 3 or 4 years after they were both. That's the best fucking tennis I've ever watched, man.
I was just gonna say it was the 2008 Australian Open was his first Grand Slam. And so Tsonga was the one. I had it flipped. So he beat Tsonga in the final.
Yeah.
And it was it went to
Joe Willie.
Yep, Joe Willie. It was Djokovic over Tsonga 4-6, 6-4, 6-3, 7-6.
Yeah.
And I remember staying up super late, but I was going to say out of the big 3, Djokovic, Federer, and Nadal, Djokovic is the only one that has a winning record over the other 2.
Yeah.
But he also loses to guys that don't exist. But
And
it's,
Djokovic, the thing with Djokovic was like his fucking like his preparation and his fitness were next level. Like the dude was on the level where like when he's like drinking water, like hydrating between like he was drinking room temperature water because your body absorbs it quicker than like cold water. Like he had this shit figured out down to a
That
science.
makes sense.
yeah, he had every single advantage other than athleticism.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Well, there's guys like even in the UFC, there's guys that like can beat top tier guys, but because of their style, like they're riskier.
Yeah.
They lose to guys that are no names sometimes, like Faber.
I was
or
just gonna
like,
say that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, it's weird. I mean,
Um,
even Faber's like a guy, like you said, you don't look at Faber and go like, your coaches don't go fight like Faber.
Yeah.
Because he's risky. He
I
throws
was
a
gonna
lot
say
of weird
Dominic
shit.
Cruz is another
Dominic
one.
Cruz, yeah.
Dominic Cruz is he's so unorthodox that
Yeah.
you don't want to replicate.
You don't emulate. Yeah, you don't emulate that guy.
Tell
Like,
you, the dude's commentary is unorthodox.
but also, how the fuck
real.
do you replicate Dominic Cruz?
Yeah.
Even if you're trying, that dude moves. His head's always moving constantly. He doesn't run out of energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has such a weird
He's,
style.
You can't do that. Like
I
that's
was
the
gonna
thing.
say that too. John Jones is another one, but I think you can't replicate
Yeah.
him because
You
he's
want
such a
to replicate
magnificent.
Jones, but
He's
his
such
body
he's
type.
So yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You're not gonna be
You have to be naturally gifted, like style
Yeah.
bender.
like Michael Phelps.
Stylebender
Yeah,
is that
Style
size
Bender.
right now.
Yeah, I really want to see Stylebender and Jones.
Yeah. I guess the fights last night were in Rochester.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who won? I fell asleep.
I didn't
Dos
watch it.
Anjos won, I think.
He did
I
win.
would
Yeah.
imagine, yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of my friends went. Frosty
I didn't know
went
it was
and a bunch
in.
of other people.
I didn't know it was there. I would have thought about going. It's expensive.
Vinny
though.
and I were talking
Yeah.
about going, and it was over $100 a ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
for
didn't
shitty-
realize
for
it
shitty
was
tickets.
in Rochester until like a week ago.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
It was
I would've
such a
been saving
small
up.
venue that, it's where the Rochester Americans play.
Yeah, Blue Cross Center, right?
Yeah, and each ticket, like when they announced it, the tickets were already like 80 something
Yeah,
bucks a piece.
yeah. To get front row, it's 500 plus, at
UFC
least.
was not in New York for the longest time. That's the
Yeah.
only reason why.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I wonder when WWE's gonna tour here again. I wouldn't mind going to one of those.
I'd love
Yeah.
to see
If
even
they
like
did
a,
a
like
Raw.
a dark show or whatever.
Yeah, but it's like if a Raw comes around, I have to go to it. You know,
Like if a Raw comes to the Carrier, like they could do a pay per view at the Carrier Dome.
they've done not pay.
They usually do the
They
War
could though.
Memorials.
They could do a pay per view at the Carrier
Yeah,
Dome.
I guess they could.
They could,
They would
but
never
they
do
don't.
it.
They wouldn't risk it though, because they don't want. If they sell it out, they would have wanted that potential of more
Yeah.
seats.
And by all reports, like, Vince is weird at that shit. Like, there's a fucking old pay-per-view where they're in the Cleveland Cavaliers arena when it
Quicken
was
Loans?
but way before, when it wasn't the Quicken Loans arena. It was like in some suburb of Cleveland, and Vince didn't want them saying the name of the suburb it was in because it wasn't like the A-level nationally known city. So
Yeah.
it made them look bad.
They
It was in,
don't
like
care.
Akron or something.
yeah.
They don't care about selling out. They just want the capacity there in case they sell enough tickets.
Yeah.
So they don't. They'd rather overbook.
Do you think the WWE is the kind of company to like have employees fill in empty seats and shit?
No, they
No, it's
I
too
feel
much
like-
money.
I would
If it
wa-
costed less,
they
they,
just-
absolutely would.
They just won't film those spots. you know?
Yeah. They'll throw
a good
tarps down and move everyone opposite the hard camera, and that's it.
Yeah. Some arenas like color their chairs differently and shit. Just
the
to make
Bills
it
should
look-
do that.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to be working for Oswego Health still at the end of the year, so we should all go to a Bills game and get blackout drunk on the train again. Or the bus.
the train.
Hell yeah. I'm down to
You
ride.
should go next time. That was the most fun.
I'm down.
We met Tom Segura.
Oh, shit, for real?
Yeah, I have a picture.
You still have that picture?
It's
course
just
I
a
do.
picture of you not having shaved.
Yeah.
I only... yeah, okay, so this was at halftime. Seth and I made it to the fucking end zone at halftime and just chilled there. And we talked mad shit to... There was a family that was half Patriots, half Raiders fans, and we were just making fun of them the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's Tom Segura.
Oh, shit. Wait, what?
It's not really him, but doesn't it look like him for a
It
little bit?
looks exactly like him.
We told him that, and he's like, "Who's Tom Segura?" I'm like, and you showed him the cover of Completely Normal,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
like, "Oh no, that is me." And then we lost one of the guys, the old dude. I don't remember his name. There was like an 80-something-year-old guy.
Hank.
Yeah.
It was Hank.
I think it was Gary or some shit.
Gale,
No, not Gale.
Gary, Sal,
It seems like it started with a G.
Mel.
I don't know. But he was gone. He was totally gone.
Yeah, no, he went to the wrong, because there was the stadium, and then like a mile away from the stadium was where we were tailgating and where our buses were, and
Yeah.
then also a mile the other way was another set of buses, and he walked all the way to the wrong one,
Oh,
and he
man.
left his phone on our bus, and he ended up taking a cab to Buffalo Airport and flying from Buffalo to Syracuse, and then his daughter picked him up and drove him from Syracuse to Oswego, and he beat our bus to Oswego.
That's the dumbest
What?
shit.
Yeah. What the fuck is his name? I know him too.
Are you just holding this dude's phone hostage?
Dude, he was in his 80s.
150
We took his
miles
flask.
strategy.
away
We
from
drank
home.
all the whiskey out of his flask.
That's what you get, bro.
It's a weird strategy to do that, you know. Anyway, he would have been. I mean, it's like, how much would that flight cost? And it's like a fucking 20-minute flight, probably.
Yeah. Well, he's the greeter at the hospital. He like runs the like when you walk in, there's the sign-in desk. Or no, he is the sign-in desk for like visitors
Yeah.
and guests. And
He
then you
is
have,
the desk.
he is the desk. What the fuck is his name? I know him.
Which hospital? Is it, like St. Joe's? or
Oswego.
what?
Oswego.
Oh, okay.
Wicked old dude. Wicked fucking hilarious. He slept the entire way, like halfway to Buffalo. He slept the whole time and then immediately woke up and was just drinking straight whiskey.
Yeah, he had it all planned out.
He ran the
Fucking
whole
spirit
thing.
animal,
Like
dude.
that was the big thing that pissed me off about that. We definitely covered this back when it happened, but the thing that pissed me off the most was I bought all of our tickets from. It was me, Seth, my dad, my uncle Chris, and Vinny. Vinny didn't go.
Oh,
But it was
Classic
the four of
Vinny.
us. He blacked out the night before.
bro.
Was not conscious.
Jesus.
But the four of us got tickets, and mine and your ticket were together, and then the other two tickets, like, you would think that when a company organizes a bus to go to watch a sporting event, all the tickets would be in the same section because they're all the same price. But some of the tickets were like, some of the seats were all over.
Yeah.
Like my dad and my uncle Chris didn't even end up watching the game because they were part of that fringe group that was on the other side of the stadium. And they got there, watched the first quarter, and they're like, let's just go to the bar. And they left. I mean,
They
the Bills
like
were getting
probably
destroyed.
60 yards away at least, like halfway down the fucking line. We were over towards the end zone.
Yeah.
Actually, on our Instagram, there's a
Our whole row was all Oswego Health.
Yeah.
Which was really weird. And then little by little, it ended up just being Seth and I.
yeah, and then we went down.
And then we went down to the fucking end zone.
God damn.
I love the Ralph, though, dude. That's one of my favorite stadiums. Out of all the stadiums I've been to for football or any sporting event.
Yeah,
I think it's the people, because Bills fans are just the most fun. They're
Yeah.
so fun.
they
like-
know they're gonna lose. It's
Yeah,
just-
well, like I saw the Cowboys play in Cleveland a few years ago, and that was just like, it was sad because at least at Bills games it's mostly Bills fans still. The Browns game was all blue, like there were no Browns fans at all.
God damn.
I know, dude. You guys
I
are
mean,
fucking up.
It's the Cowboys, so I'm not surprised. But
Right.
still, dude, like
There were
it's
no
Cleveland.
Browns fans.
They're known for fucking turning out no matter what.
yeah. Where was the dog pound, dude?
The dog pound was there. I remember we actually
Michael Vick got to the dog pound.
Yeah, he did.
cleared it out. But yeah, so how do you guys feel about this upcoming season?
I don't know, dude. Like I've looked at the first half of the schedule. Like I know we got big expectations this year, but looking at that schedule, like 3-4, 2-5 is the best I see coming out of those first like fucking 7.
I can't
8
ever,
games,
like-
dude. It's rough.
I can't ever judge that shit on schedules though. It's like you could have like you could just look at all those teams and be like, yeah, they were good last year, but like,
Yeah.
are they?
Well, I was
gonna
gonna
be
say
the
like
same?
the Cowboys last year at a point were 2-5.
Yeah.
and they ended up 10-6 and won the division.
Yeah.
So like with the NFL, you don't know until you know.
You don't
It seems
know.
like every Cowboys season either goes like that way or the exact reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta wait.
They either
until-
win the division or there's 8-8.
Yeah.
Like
You can't like judge your schedule until like week 8.
Yeah.
Like, until teams
Or
start
they
shaking.
have that 1-2-10 season every few years
14.
where too many role players get hurt or
well,
whatever.
yeah, and then they
they're
luck into a
fucked.
franchise cornerstone
Yeah.
like DeMarcus Ware or Zeke Elliott.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, oh yeah, we have the 3rd pick. Let's take the best player available, which
Yeah.
I think is what teams should do anyway.
Yeah.
But I was wicked hyped for the Browns when I saw that they drafted Greedy Williams
Yeah.
because
I like their draft picks, but I don't know. That schedule looks fucking front loaded as shit.
my favorite thing
And
about
it's
this
just gonna
year,
spiral.
my favorite thing about this year is that the Giants took Daniel Jones
Yo,
6th overall.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't think he's gonna be great, but like,
He's just gonna be
he could be like, he can just meme his
Serviceable.
way into a fucking Super Bowl win.
I
I could
almost
see
just-
it. Like, he even looks like Eli, dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
They
that was
took
a big thing.
That
And,
prototype.
like his player profile, like
Yeah.
even fits the same blueprint.
I think it's like I almost want him to just go off just because of how hard everybody shits on him.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I think the real shit. I think who was it? Fucking Dwayne Haskins, the Redskins. I think he's gonna turn out. Which I mean, even if he turns out good, like he's got about 3 or 4 good years in him because their
Redskins.
fucking turf destroys players.
Yeah, it does. Why don't they redo that? Like, what the fuck? At a
Dan
certain
Snyder
point, you gotta
costs money.
realize.
Dude, you're talking about the same owner that was prostituting their cheerleaders. Like,
Yo, I can't believe that didn't become a bigger news story,
Dude,
dude.
for
They
real.
buried that shit deep.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were running a straight up escort service with their cheerleaders for
Yeah.
fucking
years.
Saudi sheiks or
Yeah,
whatever.
they're not
the fuck
allowed
they
to
were
like
doing.
talk to players or anybody in the organization, really.
Yeah, shit's fucked up, dude.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's like, you know, nobody looks into that shit until it's fucking been going on.
Yeah,
I think it comes down to the fact that like the, and this is like a weird, just from an outsider's perspective, from what I've noticed, is that being a cheerleader in the NFL, as far as cheerleaders go, that's the peak. So the last thing you want to do is to compromise your spot.
yeah.
That's the thing is, like, yeah, you're kind of locked in there because you don't want to lose the job. But it's like, that's why no one says anything. So it's strange.
It's really fucked up. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders has a long-running, like internationally well-known reality TV show that's been going on since like the 90s.
yeah.
You know, and that's just the
it's all
Cowboys.
just it comes out to. I bet Jerry Jones gets his fucking pick of them.
Yeah. He just has them all bend over. Walks down the line.
He's
I
like,
think-
oh, I tell you, the billions of dollars, it's all worth it, man.
Yep.
I think cheerleading is a weird concept when you look at it from somebody that is completely ignorant
It's-
to the fact
It's
that
completely
cheerleading.
unnecessary.
Well,
honestly.
cheerleading on its own is a sport.
Yeah, well, I guess.
Well,
I mean, it's an
a-
athletic competition.
it's the same
for
way that
sure.
gymnastics.
It's closer to gymnastics. Yeah.
It's
but-
no, it's closer to dance than gymnastics.
yeah, it's a hybrid.
But at the same time, you know, you're gonna have I think that the people that complain about cheerleading being archaic are the same women that weren't ever cheerleaders.
Yeah, at best, they were the base
Color
of
guard.
the pyramid.
The thing is, like,
were the flag
cheerleaders
twirlers.
used to be cheerleaders, though, and now it's like not so much a thing as because in these fucking stadiums, like, there's so much other shit. Like, there's giant screens, there's music playing. It's like
Yeah.
that shit wasn't like back in the day when they started off. They were the ones like trying to lead
Hyping
the
everybody
crowd.
up. Yeah, and now they're kind of unnecessary.
yeah, it's just.
but it's
kinda
still
there.
something that people want to do, and as long
Basketball
as
has cheerleaders too, though, right?
yeah,
Do they still have it?
I think so.
yeah, they do.
Because they used to have them like under the basket, and they'd get destroyed.
Yeah,
by
because
people
you
all the
always
time.
see they have the fucking pictures of like the Lakers girls with just really weird socially inept dudes.
Yeah.
Like, there's a fucking Lakers cheerleader, and then there's this fucking virgin looking dude who's a foot shorter than her.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got that virgin look.
He's hover handing around her back.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It's funny.
it's got to be a rough life.
Yep. Some like to do it. I mean, they've done it since they were in high school, you know.
Yeah.
I was
like, what
listening.
shit?
Point. Yup. That's exactly what I was thinking of. What are this is fucking? Are they wearing Hardy's uniforms?
Yeah, they're at Carl's Jr.
What? That's hilarious.
God bless America.
Yeah, I was listening to this podcast the other day. Have you ever listened to Radiolab?
I listened to them there was an episode they did that got removed from the internet. I don't remember what it was about.
They do really good podcasts. Like, they're very interesting. They take like live interviews and things like that from different things, and they clip it all together so that there's no like open. There's nothing boring. Like, it's constantly throwing info at you and shit.
Yeah.
And they did one about this Belgian this Belgian election where, like, I guess it's like a cosmic ray hit a computer and flipped one of the binary bits inside of the computer, and it changed the results of the election. Like, so like this bitch got like 4,000 more votes than she actually had. So they had to like figure out what the fuck did it, and they found out that it was likely a cosmic
Like radiation
ray.
or something.
Yeah.
God damn.
That hit a computer.
That's
and
crazy.
so they were saying this is what happened to all those Toyota vehicles like a couple years back when the Toyota vehicles were taken
shut
off
down.
on people.
Yeah.
Like, they would just accelerate and you couldn't like stop it. And there was like people that got killed by it. Like, there was a
Yeah.
group of like a family that drove into a fucking intersection and they all died. And the guy was like standing on the brake, like trying to get it to stop. And they were saying that because there's chips in these cars. There's like their computers.
Yeah.
And they were saying how like 3 computers it takes to fucking just unlock your car. Like,
Yeah.
with your fucking remote thing on your keys.
Yeah, dude, that shit's nuts, and like, they want to keep fucking throwing more and more shit at this. Like, get your whole fucking like smart house and shit.
Yeah.
Have your whole fucking house like linked up to a computer. And it's like, okay, that's great. You can fucking lock your doors with your voice command
And change
like,
your thermostat
yeah.
and shit.
And now a fucking hacker can lock you out of your fucking house. Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations.
That's true. They were saying these rays like hit computers all the time, but most of the time when they hit these bits and flip them, it's benign. Like, it does nothing.
Yeah.
So like the ones that really do flip and change something like that.
Yeah,
is
we're not prepared
good.
for that. Like, it's fucking...
That's
I
why we
think-
can't do online elections.
Yeah. Like, there's some... I forget what fucking... There's, like, a whole fucking theory, and the dude from Radiohead, like, named a whole, like, track after it, like, Black Swan Theory. Like, we try to, like, future-proof our software and shit with, like, just, oh, these are all the scenarios we
That
can
could go
imagine happening. But, like, there's plenty of shit that, like, can go wrong that you don't foresee, and
yeah,
we have
exactly.
no preparedness for it, whatever.
Yeah, they never
whatsoever.
expected that shit to be the case, like a fucking gamma ray of some sort hitting a fucking computer.
Yeah.
Just at the right spot. And those things are all over the place. They're just like, that's just part of space, essentially.
Yeah. And it's like, how are we supposed to foresee this shit
Preemptively,
and try to prevent it?
It's really crazy. That's why it's like, you know, it's always going to be there. How do you even block that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
And then when you do, it's like, who's to say there's not something else that's fucking with it?
You know?
And who's to say, like, maybe in our lifetime, a solar flare gets close enough to the Earth to just wipe out all electronics.
You know?
Scientists say that it's already happened before, but it was back in like the 1700s
Yeah.
where there was they record. I don't know how they fucking do it. I don't know how you can
No,
go
here's
back.
the thing, like, even in, like, when telegraphs were a thing, I believe, somewhere in, like, the 1860s or so, I think, like, a solar flare, like, hit the planet, and, like, the telegraph lines, like, just going along the poles are, like, throwing up sparks and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because we just got hit with that big of, like, the fucking, like, solar flares and shit.
Yeah, it's
That
like,
shit's crazy, dude.
even like
Planes falling out of the sky.
Yeah.
Everybody on life support's done.
Yeah.
infrastructure is fragile for the
Yeah.
most part. You know, you could throw one wrench.
It's like
in
a
there
hair
and-
trigger, dude.
Now, and then that's another fucking crazy thing is if we get onto like a smart grid where like all that shit's controlled through computers,
Yeah.
who's to say Russia doesn't fucking get in there and just go,
exactly.
see ya electricity,
Well, I
see
was
ya
gonna say-
everything.
That sounds like it was like either a movie or a TV show or something. I think it was a movie where in real life, there's a gigantic like fiber optic cable
Yeah.
underwater
Yeah.
that is basically feeding, the internet between countries and continents and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, who's to say that somebody just doesn't go down there and just fucking blow it up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they just take scissors.
Like a mayor, like the mayor scissors.
Yeah.
I now
The
pronounce
ribbon
you
cutting.
offline.
I was watching Black Mirror the other day, and there was an episode where this dude the bees are extinct, so they had
Yup.
to create bees.
That's the one episode I've seen that's so fucked. Dude.
Yeah, they had to create bees, like robotic bees, and so this dude like learns how to hack into these bees, and it like flies. He flies them into people's like eyeballs and shit, and scrambles their brains, kills them.
Yeah.
So they have to figure out like, and he runs like this online like social media thing where people go like #death2, and then they put a name, and whoever has the most, like he kills that person that night. So it's like every 24 hours someone gets killed by these robotic bees.
Dude,
Yeah.
I don't fuck with Black Mirror, man. That shit freaks me out.
It's crazy
I
because
was
it's
really high the first time I ever watched an episode of that.
Same.
It fucked with me so
Same.
fucking hard.
it's
dude.
all shit that's like seems plausible too.
Yeah.
The first episode I watched was the one that was the VR video game one.
Mm.
Or actually, no. The first episode I watched was it was is it called Dance Monkey Dance? Where that kid gets the troll face texted to him, and they blackmail him into doing all this fucked up shit. They blackmail him into like robbing a store and killing a guy.
I
And
don't remember that one.
I don't know. I've only seen the one episode.
I
so-
started at the beginning, and I'm like,
Yeah, they say the first episode is not the one you want to start with at all.
what's the first
I
episode?
don't remember that one.
The Prime Minister of England gets blackmailed into fucking a pig on live
Oh,
TV
yeah, that's
in order
right.
to free a hostage.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, because there was another one like where you could go into people's memories. Your memories are like recorded all the time, like through your eyes, basically. And
Oh yeah, that was the
there
one
was
that
a dude that like I don't remember if he caught someone cheating on him or something like that through her memories or some shit. It was fucking crazy.
they stole that one from Carl Pilkington.
Yeah, probably.
No, they did. There was a whole fucking thing about it because on the Ricky Gervais show like 10 years ago, he talked about a TV show idea he had where your memories are recorded, and then when like everybody's memories are recorded, and then when a family member dies, they upload everybody's memories to the other family members, so that way your family members are never really gone. They're just part of your subconscious.
Right. Well, I feel like I've even had that idea though.
Well, yeah,
You know?
but he was the first one that was famous with it.
Well, yeah.
It was a whole fucking hilarious thing where he made a movie idea out of it. I'm not saying they plagiarized it, but that's just all I know about it.
Right. I feel like that's an easy idea to come up with, though, right?
Yeah, that's why
Well,
everybody's came up.
nowadays,
That's
too.
why everybody's came up with that idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody I've ever met was like, "Hey, what if everybody's subconsciouses were downloaded into each other?"
Yeah. Well, not that, but I think everybody right now, when they're thinking about AI, they're like, "Oh, well, eventually we're gonna have computers in us, and we can see
Upload
through."
your life into a cloud.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Well, it's
kinda-
like, did you ever see that animated movie, The World of Tomorrow?
no. You sure you're not talking about Aladdin?
I'm positive.
Or is there like Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow? Or is
No,
that
you're
a
thinking of
separate
you're
movie?
thinking of 007. You're thinking of Skyfall. World of Tomorrow. Remember those cartoons that were like the rejected commercials?
Oh, like Ice Cold Bud Light.
No. Like my anus is
Bud
bleeding.
Light.
Oh, I imagine that's not a rejected commercial. I feel like that's
No, it was all a fake thing. It was
It's
and
fake.
it was a movie.
it's staged.
We can watch it. I'll show it to you guys. It's actually really good. But yeah, fucking no, Black Mirror. I've seen the VR episode. You've seen that one, right?
I think
He
so.
puts it's like a Vive but he ends up getting trapped into it. And then when they disconnect him from it, his brain still thinks he's in a video game, so he's like brain dead because there's no connection.
It's like that South Park episode.
Yeah, actually, it's almost exactly like that. Where Cartman's just like sitting there twitching. Yeah, it's exactly like that. And then I saw the one where the whole episode, the woman is being followed by people recording on their phones.
Yeah, that one was crazy too.
That one was pretty fucked up.
That was like she was under some sort of like they were punishing.
It was
her
their
for
punishment,
something,
yeah, because she killed a kid, and
Yeah.
her punishment was having to relive it over and over and over again.
Yeah, and it was like broadcast or some
Yeah.
shit.
That's kind of how cancel culture is now, though. And we were talking about Pro Jared, I think, with Zamaya. And apparently new news came out about that whole thing. The YouTuber that his wife said he cheated on him and all this other stuff. Apparently, they were in a
Why do people care, first of all, though? Like, isn't that his own thing? Like, why do people give a shit just because he's a YouTube guy?
He's pretty famous, at least on YouTube and in the media, video game media. You know, it's like if Stephen A. Smith cheated on his wife, the sports media would go crazy.
Yeah.
It's just weird to me. That it's like, it's kind of a personal issue. It's like, why does anybody even really...
Okay, don't be a contrarian about this right now, because all you do is bitch about contrarians. I'm trying to discuss something that happened that references something we actually discussed a week ago.
Oh. All right.
Whatever. Not even gonna mention it now. No. Basically, more news came out, and basically they were in a open relationship, and his wife wanted to end it. And that was the whole thing, was that she made up all these rumors and made up all this shit about him cheating and doing shit with underage children when none of it was true, and they were just in an open relationship, and he was getting laid and
Well,
she
that's the
wasn't.
thing is, you can just make these things up now, too.
Yeah. And get enough outrage going to the point where he had, like, you know...
As soon as that ball starts rolling, it's over.
Yeah. He had over 1 million, like 1.2 million subscribers on YouTube.
But
And then on his Twitch channel and Let's Plays and stuff like that, he was pretty big.
But what can he say after she says that, though? It's like, that's it. Like,
He didn't say
they're gonna-
anything. That's the move, though. He remained silent until more and more details came out, and now all of a sudden the script is flipped because here she is saying all this bad shit.
Well, I think they're whoever's directing them always tells them not to say anything.
Well, their lawyers probably definitely were like, just keep your mouth shut.
But that's also weird because it's like, why
I
wouldn't you come out and
agree
say
with you.
no?
I agree
Like,
with you on the point, like, why do people care? But it's at the
Right.
same point, it's like, why do people care about anything if you're going to go that route? you
I
know?
would think that instead of saying nothing, you would want them to just be like, no, this didn't happen, and you're gonna see in a couple weeks when all this shit comes out.
Yeah.
Because if you know you didn't fucking do it, then you don't have anything to hide.
That's very true. It's like when you know you're right.
Right.
Yeah.
But people, even when they know they're right, they're told not to say anything.
It's just it's a whole thing, because I just remember, I mean, I'm gonna eat crow. Like, Zamaya and I were talking about it last week about how we both really liked him a lot, and we were disappointed, and now all of a sudden we're finding out, oh, all this shit we were being spoon-fed by all these media sites and Reddit and 4chan and Facebook, Twitter, whatever, YouTube. Now all those people, like, that's the thing that gets me the most, is that all the people that profited off of spreading the lies, nothing's gonna happen
they're
to
still,
them.
they're still
They have all
profitable.
those hundreds of thousands and millions of views on their YouTube videos and shit, podcasts talking about it.
Right.
And his reputation is ruined now
Yeah.
for the foreseeable future because of this culture we have where for
You
some reason
immediately, as soon as someone's blamed for anything, it's immediately
it's immediately held as gospel. And for some reason people expect there's like, that's the thing, is like, fame does not equate, you know, a good person.
Yeah.
Most famous people are not actually good. I would say most people aren't inherently good people. There could be one, you could be perfect, and then 1% of you could be bad, and that 1% of the bad part of you could tarnish your whole reputation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it depends on who finds out about it first.
Yeah.
It's also so fast that you can just say it once and it's immediately spread within like the hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of it comes down to, like, having that ability to, like, have the platform and have the power to like take somebody else down, like, and
They
make you
like
feel
that
like
power.
you're morally superior. Like, it's a form of power that you get to exercise that you don't necessarily have elsewhere in your life.
I honestly feel like the three of us have spoken about this before in regards to
Well, that's what I
like
mean. We've
virtue
talked about it
signaling and
enough
stuff.
times. Yeah, we've talked about it enough times, but like, I don't know what you can do about it just because social media exists.
Yeah,
Like,
it was a mistake as well.
Pretty much.
It's just so weird. I think
should have stuck
you
with MySpace.
notice
Dude.
what's that?
Should have stuck with MySpace.
Yeah,
Dude, it's fucked up. Like,
Live Jasmine. I was
you
gonna
ever get into like YouTube and this whole adpocalypse and shit? Like, really get into like the idea like how they are. It's almost not physically possible for YouTube to effectively police its platform.
Impossible.
And,
They
like,
were trying
you
to get
could make
people
an
to.
argument.
They were trying to get people to monitor their own chats
Yeah.
or their own comment
Comments.
sections.
Yeah.
You could make an argument that if it isn't possible for these platforms to be effectively policed, I think you could argue that YouTube, by all rights, should not exist.
Yeah,
It's not. Google doesn't even make a profit off of YouTube. The expenses are so massive from hosting all of that shit. The only reason they prop it up is because they get all this extra data and shit from like your viewing habits.
Dude,
and
it
shit.
is. The data is scary.
It's just that they are the only, like, everything's on YouTube.
Yeah.
So what's the alternative right now to that? Anyway?
There is none,
What are
and
you
that's the problem. It's
Vimeo or
like-
some shit. It's like,
Like-
even them, they're eventually going to run into the same problems.
Yeah.
Google could hemorrhage money off of YouTube for the next 50,000 years and
Yeah.
be fine.
There's
Yeah.
no way to solve that problem. Like,
I think-
there's always going to be an endless stream of content if you allow people to upload content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you can't not monitor it. So you can't
Yeah.
have rules to it, but you have to have rules to it. So there's an endless cycle that
Yeah,
they can't possibly fix that.
I think the problem with YouTube was when they started to cater to ads and sponsorships and stuff. Even before the adpocalypse, when they would, when YouTube was a big thing, when you guys were teenagers, I was like 11, maybe, I don't know. 2005, 2006, 2007, when it was just like, oh, I'm going to make a video that I want to share with the public. I'm going to put it on this platform. And now then it was, I'm going to make a video to entertain people and put it on this platform. And now, current day, it's, I want to make a video to entertain people, but I also have to go along with this agenda that the platform makes me go along with.
Yeah.
So, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, it's good enough that we have an ability to be able to be out there, but at the same time, I feel like if you really want to be this platform for people to express themselves,
You can't be censoring people.
you
for-
can't be censoring people, and you have
disagreeing.
to let the people on the platform decide. There are tens and hundreds of millions of users on YouTube. Let them decide what can stay and what can't. If there's a video
have
from
people report it.
But then
Exactly.
at the same time, you're almost turning it into a giant version of Reddit. And Reddit's fucking structure has its
Reddit's
downfalls,
hive
for
mind is
sure.
insane. And and then you also don't want it to be 4chan, where it ends
Yeah,
up being
dude.
most of the user base uses it in
4chan's gotten
in spite.
really bad.
They people use 4chan in spite of 4chan.
You would essentially have to hire like an unlimited team of fucking moderators.
Yep.
Yeah.
To
And
like
as someone who's used 4chan for a long time, probably it was not far into my high school career, so I've probably been using 4chan for about 13, 14 years. As of very recently, that entire site, it just comes across as if all the moderators on there have given up. It
Yeah.
almost seems entirely unmoderated.
Yeah.
The whole site's just trash.
I noticed
now.
that recently too, because I cannot get any quality discussion with movies and TV shows on Reddit.
TV
anymore.
is probably the worst board on
And
the
I was
whole
just gonna
site.
say,
TV
it's-
is almost the designated pedophile board. It's fucked
well, I was gonna
up.
say it's the designated pedo board because he's completely right. Like there was a thread I saw the other day that was like which actress was the sexiest before they like were in their 20s. And people were posting like pictures of like all these actresses and starlets that were like teenagers.
Yeah,
But at the same
fucked up,
time, it's
dude.
like you can't go anywhere on any website, no matter what it is, Reddit, 4chan, Funny Junk, Dig, websites that are like Albino Black Sheep, Newgrounds. Literally any website that you ever used to go on now is politically charged.
Yeah.
It's because there's always somebody behind it. Somebody's moderating it, so they're gonna be able to silence whoever
And
they
as
want.
much as people want to be like, oh, 4chan's a home of the alt-right, no, 4chan was a place for people to go that didn't give a shit. Like, it was people to just shoot the shit. It was
Yeah.
like a water cooler.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is if you don't have any moderation, it becomes trash. If you have too much moderation, it becomes trash.
Yeah.
Because there's no way to find a middle ground, especially with as many users as you have.
Yeah.
And then if you decide to have people report things, then you have to have somebody who looks at all those reports and goes, is this really is this report justified?
Yeah. Do you see that B on 4chan just finally reached its 800 millionth post?
God damn.
800 million in 14 years.
Holy shit.
So you're looking at 500,000 posts a year, right? Is that math
I haven't
right?
even gone on that board.
How long
in
has 4chan
probably
been
And
around?
they're
a
all
decade.
they're
man.
all just, and then the thing is you're completely anonymous on there. So it's very strange.
I think it was
Yeah.
a great place to be at when people were scared to be themselves.
Yeah.
Because you could go on there and voice your opinion, and if people talk shit to you, it didn't matter because they wouldn't be able to know who you were.
And it's so rough because, like, as much as I hate what 4chan has become, like, I almost feel bad about, because, like, I hate Reddit at least as much, if not more, than 4chan, but
I agree.
for very different reasons. Like, what I've heard, like, the turn of phrase I've heard that I feel fits really well, it's like, 4chan is full of smart people acting stupid. Reddit is full of stupid people acting smart.
Yeah.
And it's like, in real
Yeah.
life, I get along a lot better with assholes than I do with morons. So I feel at home on 4chan more to a degree, but like,
yeah.
I don't know, the way they've diverged, it's just bad. Like,
I don't
Reddit
ever-
is just the home of the worst, most uninformed takes you will ever find, whereas 4chan is the home of willfully ignorant takes.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's just a matter of preference which you hate worse.
I never liked the idea of just them being able to talk without consequence, though, you know?
Yeah.
Because they can just literally say whatever they want, whether it's true or not. you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, with Reddit, I almost just... At this point, when I do go on, I'm only on boards of, like, specific video games or
Yeah.
specific TV shows.
You got to
You
avoid the
can't-
generalized.
Yeah, you
boards.
can't be on TV or
Yeah.
movies or, like... I don't know, just any
NFL,
of the big, any of the
NBA,
big
Yeah.
Like
boards,
you have to go to yeah,
you have to go to r/Green Bay Packers or
yeah.
that's what I mean. That's all I do is, and so if you just unfollow all the other ones, all you're gonna see in your main feed is
See, what
terrible
really changed
shit.
me with Reddit, I still don't like it as much as I used to, but what changed is I got rid of the app. I exclusively use the browser.
Yeah.
So now the only subreddits I go on are the ones that are worth remembering the fucking name for,
Yeah.
which is literally like r/Cowboys, Free Folk, which is Game of Thrones, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
I really just use it for the Angels and the Packers. Like, just
yeah,
to
I was
talk
gonna
to
say
fans.
I use it
Yeah.
for highlights, like sports highlights.
Right, yeah, that's good.
That's
too.
it. And I think that we were talking about it the other night at D&D, maybe. I know I was talking to my dad about it this morning, where there's certain subreddits, especially the generalized sports ones. Like on the hockey subreddit, I'm a Red Wings fan, so I have a Red Wings flair. And then the NBA, I like Nick Young. I hate the NBA, but I like Nick Young. I like
Okay, I can
Swaggy.
get down with that.
I like Swaggy P, but I have the Warriors flair for Nick Young as a meme. You know, if it was 8 years ago and I had a Swaggy P flare, people would think it was funny.
Yeah.
But now that I have a Swaggy P flare, people think that I'm like, you know, a piece of shit douchebag that is just a bandwagon Warriors fan.
Yeah.
You know, on NFL I have a Cowboys flare, so people immediately think I'm retarded.
Yeah. Or
You
you
know-
should just get a Patriots
Yeah.
flare, dude.
Well, I was thinking about getting a Titans flare because they never get downvoted.
Yeah,
but there
that's
was a
true.
whole thread about...
Yeah, that's so true.
Dude, for real. Dude,
Titans fans are like the most neutral, like fucking fans.
Dude, nobody gives a shit about the Titans. But there was a thread that was like, you know, it was the other day, and it's like, this is how much it pissed me off. It pissed me off more than that Antonio Gates, Tony Gonzalez argument I got in. I spent a solid 45 minutes making a chart comparing Antonio Gates to Tony Gonzalez, explaining thoroughly why Tony Gonzalez is better than Antonio
Yeah.
Gates. The guy finally responded, and he goes, "Oh, well, I saw that you're from upstate New York, so enjoy all the heroin you're doing." It's like, okay, cool. So I'm never going to argue with anybody again because they can just call me a fucking H-face and get away with it. But there was a
Well,
thread in it.
they can just go to your profile and check that
And
you're
see
posting
where I'm
on
from.
r/heroin all the time.
Well, gotta cover up the track marks, dude.
I bet that's a subreddit.
Well, I did have somebody comment on the fact that I post on r/LSD all the time.
yeah.
And they were like, "Are you tripping right now? What's that take?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just kind of drunk."
It's because they don't have an argument and they try
they
to find
They,
something.
they want
to
to find like a flaw, a character trait. It's an ad hominem. But no, there was this post and it was like, out of every single quarterback in the Hall of Fame, Troy Aikman is the only one that was never first team All-Pro. It's like, okay, what's your point? He's still in the Hall of Fame. So you're going to discredit this guy that had a very, very good career, but not as good as, like, you know, the upper echelon of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I watched Brett Favre talk about that not too long ago. How he was like, he's like, I'm in the Hall of Fame, but I'm not like some of these guys
He's
in the
not-
Hall of Fame. Like,
yeah.
there's tiers in the Hall of Fame. Like,
Yeah.
there is. Even though everyone's in the Hall of Fame, there still are levels.
If I had $1, I'm not even kidding about this. If I had $1 for every time on Reddit I saw somebody go, you know what, Joe Namath shouldn't be a Hall of Famer, I'd be able to buy YouTube. Like, and that shit makes me so mad.
Yeah.
And like
Oh, man.
the age range for Reddit, like when I joined Reddit, the age was higher.
Yeah.
And I was 15 or 16 when I first made my
yeah,
account.
that seems to be the case.
And I remember
yeah.
the age demographic was like mid-20s.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden it skews to
Yeah.
like NBA. I'm not
Yeah.
even kidding.
Like there was
The
just a
aver-
thing on our NBA. Like they found
the average age is 13.
like at least like 50% of our NBA started watching the NBA within the past 3 years.
Ooh, that's crazy.
So like after Golden State started winning everything.
Yeah. I mean, and you could use the same argument with the dollar thing.
Yeah.
If I had $1 for every time somebody said Kobe Bryant was overrated,
Yup.
I'd be able to buy the Lakers.
Oh, don't even get me into that shit. Like this,
Dude,
this
it's so
whole new
frustrating.
generation
Analytics.
of sports fan that's grown up with your advanced stats and your analytics, and not only do they believe that like stats tell the whole story,
Right.
they actively reject like the notion of the eye test.
Yep. Yeah,
It's
that's true.
the most infuriating fucking
That
thing
is-
I deal
that's
with.
true.
That's
Yeah.
and I want
It's
to go.
funny because like a lot of the graphics you see that people post are stats
Yeah,
comparisons,
they're like super
side by
cherry
side.
picked stats.
Yeah, yeah, and like it happens to be the one that just happens to be higher than the other guys.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, that's not his play style. Like that's not how he played.
And that's what I was gonna say. Was like, you know, we obviously weren't old enough to watch Troy Aikman play, but you ask anybody that was alive to watch Terry Bradshaw,
Yeah.
Roger Staubach,
It's like if I watched
Troy
Troy Aikman play, I
you
didn't
would have been like,
understand what was
holy
happening.
shit. Yeah, exactly.
Because I
But there
definitely
was,
watched
like,
him, but
there's interviews of other quarterbacks that played in the 90s. And even, you know, Steve Young, Brett Favre, Marino, Elway, all those guys held Aikman in that regard because he didn't put up the stats because he didn't have to.
Yeah.
but he was
Who did
also
fucking Emmitt Smith?
an amazing
Dude,
leader.
yeah,
Like
he had Emmitt Smith.
Troy Aikman was probably the only guy on that team of 53 players that wasn't a fucking sociopath. Like Emmitt Smith was like a Walter Payton-esque guy where all he did was football. Michael Irvin was doing coke and stabbing people and fucking women in the ass. And Charles Haley was jerking off in public.
Yeah.
Like when you have a team, like imagine if the Packers dynasty, or not the dynasty, but the Packers when they won the Super Bowl. Imagine if you had like
Imagine if it was just 53 Chris Collinsworth.
when they're 16, they're nice and stupid. Well, I was gonna say, imagine if the Packers, like that Super Bowl year, you just had like Donald Driver and Greg Jennings, like fisting a girl on live TV. Then you had like Clay Matthews spreading his asshole on national TV, and then you had like Nick Collins like just covering himself in goat shit, and then Aaron Rodgers is like, "All right, guys, huddle up," and then they huddle up. Like you want to give the trophy to Aaron Rodgers for being
Charles
able to huddle
Woodson.
all those guys together.
Charles Woodson with a broken collarbone.
But yeah, it's just,
Hardest hitting safety
Dude,
in
that
the
team,
league.
like that team was fucking like the leftovers of the Brett Favre team,
Yeah.
but like with like the injection of
with
like Clay
the-
Matthews and
with the injection of Clay Matthews and the most physically talented quarterback of all time.
right,
Yo.
yeah, it was crazy because
Which is just insane to me.
and Brett, when I was watching, he was on Gruden's QB camp or whatever
Yeah,
on ESPN.
I saw that.
It was so good, and he was talking about how if he would have played with Holmgren for a couple more years, he was like, we were just starting to hit our stride, like, and
Yeah.
then they got rid of, or Holmgren left. It's like he's like, we definitely would have won more Super Bowls with that team.
Yeah.
They were a good, really good fucking team.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
Favre just would missile the ball, like he would just put it wherever. He said he just felt like he could make certain throws,
Yo.
and he would just take
He's-
the chance.
Dude, I don't care.
Dude, let me just break my receiver's hands
Yeah.
to fucking
Yeah.
squeeze this in
Yeah.
here.
I was just gonna say, like he's my favorite quarterback to watch.
Yeah,
Yo,
Antonio Freeman, like him and Antonio Freeman was like just ridiculous, and then he had
He's
Greg
almost
Jennings.
like
Greg
Brett
Jennings.
Favre is the ascended version of Eli Manning.
Yeah,
He digivolved.
Basically, like the way I've heard is like because Eli Manning, when fucking who was it? The last head coach of the Giants that got fucking run out of there. Like he tried to
Pedo
force.
stash.
He tried to force Eli to fucking play like this efficient fucking nickel and dime football, and he played like shit because that's not Eli's game.
Right.
For lack of a better term, Eli basically plays with fucking retard strength. You just let him rip it downfield. He's gonna get you 2 or 3 interceptions a game,
Yeah.
but he's gonna make that big ridiculous play that gets you back into it
Yeah.
because that's just how he plays.
like Favre
Ben
would throw it
McAdoo.
into coverage and just
Yeah.
be like, I have the strength to just fit it in there. Like
Yeah.
he can get it in quick enough to where the defender wouldn't have time to react and shit.
And it's like, okay, it's inefficient or whatever, but just the fact that you're willing to try that shit it gives you the potential to make the big
Exactly.
plays that you don't have if you're too scared to make
Even if
those
you're not
throws.
accurate, you can still if you can still feel like you can make the throw, then you might as well take it.
Yeah.
I think a high risk, high reward quarterback is worth more than a low risk, low reward. Like I would rather have.
Well, you
I'm
see
not-
Aaron Rodgers hold the ball a lot, and he takes a lot of sacks.
Well, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna take like a Hall of Fame tier guy. I'm gonna just scale it down. I would rather have like a.
Russell Wilson's a guy who is
Yep.
efficient and he's smart about his passes, but he will take chances.
I was gonna
he
say, but
plays
his
outside
he's
the pocket.
calculated.
Yeah.
His chances are calculated. I was gonna say, I would rather have like, if the teams were even, I would rather have Jay Cutler than like Alex Smith.
Yeah.
You know, or not even Alex. No, Alex Smith is a little too good. Maybe
Well, for the last half
For
of
the-
his career,
in a way-
yeah.
in a way-
Early on,
yeah.
he was not.
I would say like I would rather have. I mean, you can even look at Kaepernick versus Smith.
Yeah.
You know, which team made it the furthest? Which team was more dangerous?
Yeah.
That 49ers team with a game manager, or that 49ers team with Kaepernick.
with
I was
dude
always
who can
just-
run for 160 yards a game in the playoffs.
Like
Against the
Kaepernick
Packers.
is such a tragic fucking story.
It's
Yeah.
funny because every time I saw that we were playing San Francisco, I'd literally be scared.
Yeah.
Like, because they would just destroy the Packers. He was just so good at beating Green Bay, just the way they played defense.
Yeah, and
against
that's a whole other thing. Like, there is the fucking racial, like, social implications to it or whatever, but, like, at the same time, like, if you're an NFL franchise, like they don't want bench players and backups
To rock the
being, like, name guys in the media, because that's just a distraction. If the media wants to talk to you, you better be a high quality starter or you're fucking out.
Yeah.
And I think at the same time, if you're not a high quality starter and the media wants to talk to you, you better fucking be professional and make sure you represent.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
It's the same way, like, you know, and it's such a straw man argument in a way. You know, I work for Oswego Health, but I work in a kitchen. They're not going to interview me on TV before they interview a surgeon. But if they do interview me, I'm not going to sit here and talk about abortion and how, like, you know, shit like that. I'm not going to be controversial.
Hard nipples.
Yeah.
Everybody should pierce their dicks. Like, I'm not going to talk about that, you know, but it comes down to, I guess he valued his beliefs more than his, you know, multi-millionaire job.
Yep.
Which I
see
don't
that a
know.
lot.
I don't even value my beliefs more than my $15 an hour job.
Yeah.
Like, fuck giving me $1 million a year. Like, I'm making like 25 a year, and I wouldn't fucking be political on TV.
That shit makes me wonder, like, what was it, that news story about, like, that restaurant that fucking just went out of business a month or so back, and it's like, they announced they were going to charge male customers, like, 15% more than
a
female
man tax.
customers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a male tax, and it's like,
That is hilarious.
And
That
it's
is
like-
literally stabbing yourself in the heart.
Yeah. That
they went
entire
out of
company,
business for valuing their principles higher than actual business acumen, and it's like,
That's capitalism,
how far
baby.
does that shit like go down? Like, I feel like it's almost the same principle at a stage. Like, if you're gonna be an elite athlete, like, only like a percentage of a percentage get to play in the pros.
Yeah.
But when you narrow it down to, like, what percentage of people who are willing to put all that work in and go all out for it turn out to be pros? If you put in that work, you're putting yourself in that higher percentile.
Right.
And it's like, it's still incredibly hard to, like, make the pro athlete status or something, but it's
Dude, yeah.
not as hard as you think if you put in that work.
That's the thing, yeah. When you look at the percentage of players that make it into the league, it's
Yeah.
crazy how low it is.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of fucking players.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them who aren't fucking going that hard on
Yeah.
it.
You got to be the guy that's fucking 100% in on the regimen,
Well-
who's fucking practicing every day, eating well, like has a personal trainer that's fucking,
Yeah.
and they are focused on that
Well,
ultimate
yeah.
goal.
We could all probably name a player from respective teams that didn't follow that entire thing. Like David Irving, the defensive tackle for the Cowboys. Probably one of the most freakishly athletic guys I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Wearing
We talked
a
about
Cowboys
AJ Hawk
uniform.
last time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
AJ
AJ
was
Hawk's
the guy.
another one. Brian Cushing for the Texans is another one.
Yeah.
But they were so reliant on their athleticism that once they made it,
Navarro Bowman
didn't give
was
a shit.
Was
Yeah.
a good linebacker too.
I think Navarro Bowman was mostly the fact that he was beat up.
Well, they had a couple of good linebackers. Too.
Chris Borland is the one you're thinking of. He got Rookie of the Year and then
Yeah.
retired.
Yeah.
Or was it?
Well,
I think so.
He almost got. He was a Pro Bowler his rookie year. I don't think he was Rookie of the Year. Patrick Willis
Yeah.
retired at 29. Legitimately
Yeah, he was like,
is still, in my
top
opinion,
guy.
the best the best linebacker I've ever seen is Patrick Willis.
yeah.
And that I've seen personally.
His vision was insane. He
He
would
was-
just close the
he
gap
was-
immediately.
First team All Pro for 6 years straight.
Yeah.
Starting from his rookie year until he retired And then he
But
was
it's
all
like-
pro every year. I think he had 8 straight all pros.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's why guys want to get into position play.
That makes
Like,
you wonder, like, how hard were these guys buying into fucking Jim Harbaugh, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because he retired right when Jim left, right?
The dude, like, a solid quarter of that team did. It was fucking
The whole
nuts.
O-line did. Justin Smith was out. Alden Smith is another one. That
Well, here's the
didn't
thing, though.
buy
If you're not a position or if a skill position player, you're not gonna get that much attention in the first
Yeah.
place.
Well-
it's fucking strange. Like, so if you're not
Those
one of those,
Niners,
Depends- it depends
those
on the
Niners
market.
had every other defensive position getting mad love.
I was
the
gonna say-
Niners had a great fucking defense, though.
Yeah.
that time.
I'm not allowed to speak because
It's like when the defense is good as a unit, that's when your guys get attention. Like Troy
Yeah.
Polamalu got a ton of attention immediately.
and
when
he
the
had James
Steelers-
Ferrier and James
Yeah,
Harrison.
that's what I mean.
And Casey Hampton.
And then you got the Seahawks a couple of years ago,
Legion of Boom.
where you get all these guys. Richard
if
Sherman gets all the
if we
attention.
took a couple minutes, we could probably name that whole starting 11.
Yeah, Darrell Revis got a lot of attention because the Jets'
Yeah.
defense was really
The
good.
Sons of Anarchy. With
Yeah,
Who
well,
was
the
Muhammad Wilkerson. Muhammad
Bart
Wilkerson,
Scott for the
Damon Harrison, and
what did Bart Scott
Muhammad
say in that
Wilkerson,
one
Damon
fucking?
Harrison, and
Was that where
Sheldon
Ed Reed
Richardson.
went after the Ravens?
he went there after the Texans.
Oh, okay,
Or no,
yeah.
he went to the Texans first, and then he got cut, and then he went to the Jets. And that's why Jamal Adams took his number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a team
They
that like
just-
they made Mark Sanchez look okay just
Yeah.
because they didn't
Mark
allow many
fucking
points.
Sanchez
Dude.
went to 2 straight AFC championship
He
games.
beat Tom Brady twice in a row.
It's weird because their defense held a lot of teams down pretty fucking
Yeah.
low.
Mark Sanchez is probably the guy I'm looking for that analogy.
Right,
Would you rather
okay.
have or even actually no, Tyrod Taylor maybe, Colin Kaepernick
Yeah.
or Tyrod Taylor?
Dude, Tyrod
Tyrod Taylor is like he's the safest quarterback I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But he's never gonna win Player of the Week.
Yo.
He's never gonna be on a SportsCenter highlight reel.
He was just a less developed equivalent of Alex Smith, I feel like.
Slightly more mobile.
Yeah.
He's like a diet Teddy Bridgewater.
But you had Mark
No,
Sanchez.
Teddy Bridgewater
like-
was like straight pocket passer, dude.
Oh yeah, I'm being
for the
racist.
most part. he was.
Dwayne Haskins is a scrambling quarterback according to Stephen A. Smith.
Dude.
I felt like for the most part Sanchez was solid. It's like he could
Yo,
also
he was a
hand
game
off.
manager. But
He had
it was-
LaDainian Tomlinson and
Yo.
fucking.
I mean,
well,
that was his second back.
Twilight Tomlinson.
That was his second back.
Who's the
though.
number one?
Didn't he
Was it
have
Thomas Jones?
no?
No, that was a little
Sean
earlier.
Green. He had Sean Green.
Oh,
Yo.
he made a Pro Bowl one year.
Yeah,
Sean Pro Bowl Green.
is that his
Dude,
nickname?
I remember when I started fantasy football, it was like he had the Pro Bowl year and then he missed it the year because he was injured.
That's a
And
guy
then-
that made Pro Bowls and no one remembers him.
Yo.
Oh, you want to talk about people nobody remembers?
Dude, yo, Curtis Martin, dude. Like, the Jets are the home for running backs that don't get enough
Yeah.
love.
He had a
Curtis
be- he had a
Martin
better
was like an
answer than I did.
all-timer.
He had a better answer than I did. Curtis Martin's 5th all time in rushing yards.
Yeah.
4th all time in all purpose yards.
Yeah, you're right. The Jets.
They
get overlooked though.
Curtis
the Jets
Martin.
always do.
Curtis Martin is like Emmitt Smith without any of the receiving talent,
Yeah.
but he's still a beast. Did you ever see his Hall of Fame speech?
Nah.
If you're listening right now and you have a half hour to spare, look up Curtis Martin Hall of Fame speech on YouTube. You won't be disappointed. Quick summary. The only reason he played football was because he was good at it. He hated football.
Yo.
Yeah.
As soon as he retired,
Brendan Schaub
he
was
was
just
done.
talking about that.
He was done with football.
On his special.
He started his own church, became his own thing.
Yeah.
Curtis Martin hated football, but he was good at it.
Yo.
He is the most humble, amazing guy. Like, amazing guy. And everybody forgets about him. I was also going to say Priest Holmes.
Yo.
Everybody forgets
he
about
was
it.
the shit when I started paying
My dad
attention.
and I were watching. We have the NFL Network, and I think it was like a week or two ago, they had a top 10 marathon. So my dad and I sat around. We were drinking beers and hanging out, reminiscing about football from before I was born, and watching these top 10 lists.
Yeah.
Back when the shoulder pads were big.
Yeah,
Dude, when
and
I
Priest
started
Priest
paying
Holmes is a guy like I remember watching him when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like I was like 5 or 6. I remember watching him. My dad actually had a Priest Holmes Ravens jersey
Yo.
after the Super Bowl. just because he had a cool name.
Yeah.
And then he went to the Chiefs, and he set the record for touchdowns in a season. And then the next year, LaDainian Tomlinson broke it by like 4.
Yep.
I think, actually, no, he broke it by 3.
Yeah,
Dude, that whole
Tomlinson,
era was
he so
ridiculous.
good.
When I started covering, it was LaDainian Tomlinson,
I really
Priest
liked-
Holmes, and Sean Alexander.
Yeah.
Corey
I just
Dillon
really
was up
liked
there.
I really liked LaDainian Tomlinson's like run style. You know?
Yeah, dude.
He
Like,
just
You ever
felt like he
watched
was
his-
good at everything. You know.
you know, that was when I started playing fantasy football. Is LaDainian Tomlinson was your surefire first overall draft pick for like 3-4 years.
Because he was just
Great.
consistent. Like he was a workhorse.
You know,
He would get plenty of fucking touches,
and
and
it's
you,
like
you
I
knew
won a
he'd do
couple
something with it.
championships on ESPN saying "fuck LaDainian Tomlinson." I went with Brian Westbrook.
Yep,
Yeah.
I was just going to say, that entire Eagles dynasty, and I don't care what anybody says, they might not have won a Super Bowl. That Eagles dynasty in and of itself, they were basically the Cavaliers of the NFL.
You know,
They made it to was it 5 straight NFC championships?
I think just 4.
4 straight NFC championships and 1 Super
They-
Bowl that
Yeah.
they barely lost
You know,
to
Man.
Brady, no less.
to Brady of all people. God forbid. I mean,
Right, you can't have. Brady lose
I
the
think
Super
that
Bowl.
it might be nostalgia, but it might also be just the fact that it was football then. I have so many fond memories of watching football as an adolescent to now.
No, it was the goal.
I'm a lot more bitter of a football fan now, and I still love it. I mean, even when the Cowboys get knocked out of the playoffs, I fucking love watching football.
Yo.
When it's, college football and Michigan's out, I don't give a shit. But when I was younger, it seemed like players were more unique.
Yeah.
And now it seems like everybody's trying to fit the same mold, whatever the position is. Every quarterback wants to be a hybrid, scramble when you can, but everybody wants to be Aaron Rodgers. Every
it's
running
like-
back wants to be LaDainian Tomlinson. Every fullback wants to be a running back. Every wide receiver,
Well,
every wide receiver wants to be like a mega. It seems like teams have these blueprints, and
No, I don't know. I feel like it has a lot to do with just the way, like if someone's successful with something and a coach can say, "Oh, hey, like I see how they're doing this." The game is going to evolve around that,
Yeah.
specifically. So
I don't
you're
think
seeing
it's-
mobile quarterbacks for a reason.
and we talked about this where the NFL is very, very, very much a copycat league.
Sure,
Because
yeah.
your window can open and close. I mean, look at Jacksonville.
Well, that's what I mean. These teams saw like Russell Wilson and Colin Kaepernick doing what they're doing, and
Yeah.
they go, "Hey, like let's start drafting guys who can move."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you realize, hey, maybe if we it's better to draft an athletic guy with a good arm and train him on accuracy than it is to train a pocket passer to be mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it only makes sense, dude. It's one more runner for the fucking defense to have to account
And-
for.
and
And a lot
that's
of
why-
defenses are schemed not accounting for the quarterback.
Yeah.
Because he's going to
Yeah.
either get blitzed or he's just going to hand the ball off and he's not part of the play
And there's a
anymore.
big thing. And I'm not even going to apologize if you're still listening and you're sick of us talking about the NFL. Whatever, like buckle up.
Here's
We're
my
gonna
butt.
keep
Here's
going.
my butthole.
Like this is my spread asshole. Like I said this on the way to the studio. I cannot wait to talk about football because we haven't been able to talk about football since before the draft.
Yeah.
For real. Like it's been months. Because you're the only other person, Bill, Dr. Bill,
Bill,
B Money McHaircene,
young billionaire, the Dr. D.
Yeah.
like
There's like 4 nicknames in there.
It's not even. It's not even my current stage name.
it's just,
yeah, that's not even your final form.
the
dude.
NFL is such a, and it makes me, I'm going to digress for a second here. It makes me wish that the NHL was way more popular.
Yeah.
Because hockey is such a,
There we go.
That's convenient.
that's very convenient because ESPN doesn't cover hockey.
They don't cover
They're
hockey.
reminding me to stop talking about hockey right now. Hockey is such it's a sport
It's just
where
better.
it is better. It's better than most. Like I wouldn't watch hockey over the NFL, but I would watch if the NHL was covered as much as basketball. I guarantee it would be way more popular.
Yeah.
It's just. But anyway, what I wanted to get into with the NFL is I think there's. Okay, this is with football in general, specifically college football, the way their conferences are set up, and pro football with each individual team.
Yeah.
There's a lot more tradition. There's a lot more relatability. I feel like the problem that I have personally with the NBA is that the NBA's culture changes so fast because the players control it. A player like Kevin Durant goes to the Warriors, the entire landscape changes.
Yeah.
LeBron goes to the Lakers, the entire landscape changes. Kyrie to the Celtics. You can even say, Kevin Garnett to the Celtics when we were younger changed the entire landscape. But,
crazy to think how long ago that was, too. That's
For
like
sure.
12, 13 years ago at this point.
For real. But then you have Khalil Mack, who is arguably the greatest defensive player in the league right now, besides Aaron Donald, goes to the Bears, and it's like a drop in the bucket because it all comes down to the whole team. Whereas with a lot of sports, mainly basketball, because basketball thinks, like NBA fans think that the NBA is going to overtake the NFL, which I fart at that fucking topic.
It has all the advantages it needs for sure.
The product isn't there though.
Yeah,
I don't think that
if they played less games, because college basketball to me is so enticing.
I even think baseball would get more viewers if there were less games.
Yes.
I think it's just when your team is fucking playing every night, you're not gonna watch it as much. It's just that simple. You're only gonna watch it when it's convenient for you.
Yeah,
you can check the score and be like, "Oh, cool, they won last night."
I can name on one hand the amount of NBA games I've watched since the Cavaliers. I would say I could count on one hand the amount of games I've watched since KD went to the Warriors.
Yeah. And I try and make an effort to watch every baseball game. Like I'm watching the end of the Angels game right now. But it's like if I miss it, if I'm doing something, it's not that big of a deal because it's like if they lose, they lost one game out of 100 and some fucking games.
162.
It gets into some shit I talk about a lot, like. I feel like the popularity of sports and shit, like, hinges on, like, a uniquely American corporate, like, media structure. Like, even if soccer becomes hugely popular among the people here, I don't know that it will ever take off on that level just because it inherently is less able to be commercialized. Like you can't throw commercial breaks every 3 minutes in a soccer game because that's just not how the game works. So there will not be that appetite for the game from advertisers.
Yes, that's what they want. In the NFL, it's easy because you can take those TV breaks and
and
every time out it's a fucking commercial break, and they have designated TV timeouts in the NFL. But it's like in baseball, it's every inning.
Yeah, I think baseball's in a really rough spot because, like, what are sports leagues looking for nowadays? They want higher scoring, they want increased offense, and they want faster games. In baseball, more offense inherently lengthens the game.
Yeah, it does.
The structure of the game is inherently less commercial than other sports in America.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can't do anything about it. That's just the way baseball's played.
Exactly.
And you don't get guys you don't get big stars in baseball. People who know who Mike Trout is. But that's because
know who he is.
They know who Bryce Harper is.
If you saw Mike Trout walking down the street, would you be able? Oh, hey, that's Mike Trout.
Exactly. Yeah.
I want to think I'd be able to, but I probably wouldn't be able to.
I mean, I would, but that's...
But you're also an Angels fan. Yeah. I wouldn't even be able to recognize Aaron Judge. I'd probably think he was just some weird tall dude.
I would probably recognize Aaron Judge. He looks a little... He's got a kind of a goofy, distinct look to him.
But
it's like Bryce Harper or something. He looks like a normal dude that every dude ever.
Yeah. Especially nowadays with the fucking beard and shit. Yeah.
It's funny, though, because baseball players can just be... They can look like whatever. They don't have to look like an athlete. Like, it's hilarious. Like, Justin Bour is the new first baseman for the Angels. I mean, they still have Pujols, but they're trying to get this kid built up. And he's like this giant, 7'2" dude. Like this big, bulky guy. Can't run for shit, but he's a first baseman, so.
Yeah.
It's like if you try and watch Albert Pujols run right now, it's like
Oh
the
my
guy
God.
basically jogs in place. Like it's
I
hilarious.
actually ran into you on Reddit. There was a post about Albert Pujols like a week or two ago, and I recognized your username. Some dude was talking shit about Albert Pujols.
Yeah. Oh, I put like everybody talks shit about Albert Pujols, and then he hits 2 home runs in a fucking
You
game.
were like,
and then no one says anything.
You said everybody thinks Pujols is washed up, but you'll all watch the highlights when he drives one over the left field wall.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah,
Really
exactly.
though, I was talking shit about Pujols last week, and then I went home watched the Angels game. His first 2 appearances in the box, he hits home runs, both of them. It's like the dude can still slug, but they pay him so much is the problem.
The thing with baseball I miss the most is the guys I grew up with.
It's
I miss,
veterans can stay around for so long.
Yeah,
though.
and when they leave, it's almost like a party was leaving.
Yeah.
And it isn't even so much like the Yankees core, like the quadruplets with like Mo.
I mean, how many years did Jeter play? And
Dude,
Sabathia is
Jamie
retiring
Moyer,
this year.
dude.
What'd you say?
Sabathia, isn't he retiring?
This is his last season,
Yeah.
I think.
And the dude can still throw heat. I mean, he's
Jamie
still throwing
Moyer
mid
pitched
90s.
until he was like 48 years old. Dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Baseball longevity is as long as you're consistent.
You know what's really funny is that the 2 most physically demanding sports, football and hockey, I think have the records for the longest tenured players.
Yo.
Mm-hmm.
Hockey has a few players that are like they were around for like 20 plus years.
I mean, Zetterberg is 41. He still plays. He's on the 4th line, but he still plays. But Yager,
Yo,
dude, Yager could be all of our dads.
yeah,
He probably is, knowing
could be.
Jaromir Yager.
Yeah,
Like,
he's somewhere in our lineage for sure.
I still remember, like 3 or 4 years ago, there was some like,
You gotta get that fucking 23andMe, and he's back there like a couple generations.
yeah, for
He's
real.
there
No, there was a
somehow,
thing
in all
of
us.
there was a thing a few years ago, like a fucking CoverGirl model or like some sort of model. She was like 19 and she fucked Yager and he was 41, and she posted a selfie while he was asleep. And it was the 2 of them naked in bed, and she posted a selfie, and which was trying to blackmail him with it. And he's like, "What are you gonna do? Like, I'm in my 40s, and you're a teenager, a legal teenager, rather, I should say.
Yeah, what is the
Like, what's your drip? Like, your drip's on my dick, actually.
Yeah,
which is where
you
your
would
drip
think
is.
if anything, she would be not wanting to take pictures of that.
If anything, she would be bragging about the fact that she got to fuck the 3rd best hockey player of all time.
Yeah, or that, I guess.
I don't know. Does
she know?
That's
that?
a real dicey one. Like
Hot-
number
like-
1 is clear cut,
Eric
and then
Cole.
everything after.
You could say, well, it has to be
Clearly
Gretzky.
Jerry Lettinen.
97
Jerry Lettinen.
Well, Ilya Brizgalov is number 1 in my heart.
Like, dude, like,
Why you have to be mad? It's only a game.
yo, dude, it's fucked up. Like, Mario Lemieux was almost as talented a scorer as Gretzky. Like, the dude was on that level. Eric Lindros was on that level. Like, this level that we look at and think is untouchable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there were a couple other dudes that were close to that shit.
I think personally, as far as people that we grew up watching, I have Ovechkin number 1.
I've never been a big
And
Ovechkin
you could also
fan,
say
like,
the same thing, like, Crosby is Ovechkin with more... Well, Crosby's a better playmaker.
Yeah,
But
Crosby's more well-rounded for sure.
They were talking
like,
about... There was something... Who's the guy on fucking ESPN?
Barry Melrose.
Yes, he was talking about Ovechkin and all of his stats.
Yeah.
I'm going to be an analytics prick for a second.
Dude, Ovechkin, just a few years back, like, Ovechkin, in a year where the Capitals won a lot, like, Ovechkin's plus minus on the season was like minus 50.
Yeah. They were talking about Ovechkin the year they won the cup,
Yo,
and how he had like the biggest jump between efficiency in the regular season to the playoffs.
yo,
And then that became a discussion, which guys turn it up in the playoffs. And it was like, you know, the difference in average, like, per game plus minus. It was like Gretzky, Lemieux, Bobby Orr, and then Ovechkin.
Yeah.
And then like 20 guys later, and then it was Crosby.
Yeah.
But that's also being an analytics prick, which we were just bitching
Yeah,
about.
it just occurred to me, like, I'm pretty down on Ovechkin typically, but at the same time, like, I'm over here bitching about how people think the advanced stats are the end all.
Yeah,
be
well,
all
like
in the
I
iPad.
said earlier, statistics only matter when they agree with you.
Right. Well,
Like-
it's like everybody takes into account championships too. So hard. Like
And
if
they
you don't
really
win a
shouldn't.
championship, you don't
really
fucking
shouldn't.
necessarily get that glory.
Like, ask my dad or your dad or even your dad, Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the Dan Marino of basketball. He was one of the best. He was LeBron James before LeBron James was born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he was... And people were saying, like, it's funny that even nowadays his height is still debated.
Yeah, like, he was 6'6" playing center.
Yeah, and he just was a monster. And then you get... I mean, I think the whole
he had
realm
girth.
of... What's
I mean,
that?
he had girth though. You know,
Dude,
what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at him playing, what was it? Was it when he was, it was either when he was drafted, on his way to being drafted, or on his way to the first game. One of the two. And he was wearing like a button-up shirt that was unbuttoned. The dude looked like the guy that was selling Bud Light in the crowd.
Yeah.
Like, he was just a chubby, wicked, stocky black dude
Yeah.
that just did
It wasn't
not
unbuttoned on purpose, is what you're trying to say.
He couldn't button. Yeah, it wasn't buttoned on purpose. But like, I think another thing is that nowadays so many players are scared to have their personality show.
Yeah.
Like, we're never gonna get another prime time in the NFL.
No.
We're never gonna get another Deion Sanders where he shows up, he gets drafted, and he's wearing like a gold-studded diamond chains. Comes in knowing, like, I'm the best cornerback in the league, I'm the best defensive player in the league, and then he proves it. Like, if J.J. Watt, who is probably the only guy that could have came into the league as a rookie, claiming he was the best in the league, if he did that, immediately all of his fucking integrity is thrown out the window.
Yeah.
Because
I
people
mean,
are
it's
held
like-
to such a high standard now.
Yeah.
And a lot of...
Well, Dion also had like he was able to like do all those crazy celebrations and shit and be flashy.
Yeah,
You're not necessarily
he was able to
allowed do
flex
that
all
now.
the time. I mean, the high step, he invented that.
Yeah.
The high step to the end zone. And now you get fined for that. Remember
Yeah,
when Devin
exactly.
Hester broke he broke Deion Sanders' return touchdown record? High stepped just the last 10 yards to the end zone, fined.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't do that, and you can't do that in Madden because as soon as you do it and
You
someone
fumble.
touches you, you fumble.
Yeah.
And I find there's like a lot of that. I find there to be a lot of that in modern society. Like, there's a
gotta
lot
piss
of
again.
hate for like cockiness and arrogance. Like, more so, like, I notice it a lot in like the generation before mine, but it's making a comeback. Like, if you're feeling
Like being the
yourself,
heel.
everyone else is gonna hate on
Yeah.
you. And I feel like being a pro wrestling fan, I'm one of the only people that can actually like appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like, everyone hates Kanye for it, and I feel like the one guy over here, like, well, he's actually that fucking good.
Right. I think that there's I think that general population wouldn't understand that, like playing the bad guy, you know.
Yeah.
They just think they are. You know, you saw Chael Sonnen do that for a long time, and now all of a sudden everybody likes Chael Sonnen because
Yeah.
they see him out of character in a way.
Yeah.
He's like he's a analyst.
Yeah.
So, you know, it does make you popular, and I think, you know, guys like Conor McGregor were doing the same thing where it
Yeah.
gets you there.
And even the ones who don't like him are fucking buying fights to see him get his ass kicked.
Yeah, exactly. You win either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of that like any press is good press, you
Yeah.
know, like
I don't know, it's getting dicey. It's definitely getting sketchy nowadays, like trying to play the heel when you've got like half of society out for your blood on social media
Right.
because you're trying to be a villain and shit.
yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's coming. It's definitely like taking its toll on shit like that. Like pro wrestling, like, you can't even, if you're trying to portray a villain, you can't really do villainous shit anymore, or else people are going to be mad at you, like, outside of character and shit.
Yeah, the WWE has an image they want to uphold, and so they don't let you do certain things.
Yeah.
Brooks Koepka won.
Oh, thank God.
He only won by
Wait,
one.
what?
He only won by one stroke, apparently.
Wait, is it still Saturday, ain't it?
No, it's Sunday, dude.
Is it
What?
really?
Yeah, Game of Thrones is on tonight.
Oh,
could
fuck,
still
that's
be-
right.
Oh, it could be Saturday still. I don't know.
God damn. He only run by one stroke?
4 strokes.
Oh, he won by 2.
Oh, holy shit. That was still... He was up by like 8
Yeah,
at one point.
he was up by like fucking 7 or 8.
I saw him
Yesterday.
start choking earlier today.
Yesterday,
and that
he was like one of 3 people that were under par.
Yeah. I saw him start choking at the beginning today. I didn't think it was going to go that far. So
But yeah, I didn't want to derail.
How
that
long
whole
is
heel.
the like? That's got to be so hard, dude. As a golfer to
Yo.
fucking stay consistent,
Yeah.
because that's what you have to. That's all about consistency.
The fact that I have a hard time staying consistent.
If you have
on-
like 2 bad holes, you're fucked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I was just gonna say I have a bad time staying consistent on a video game playing on the easiest difficulty, let alone actually golfing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, there was
It's a repetition thing. I mean, bowling's the same way.
putting
It's
is putting has got to be the shittiest thing ever
Yeah.
for real. Like because anybody can
I would
drive.
imagine chipping, like trying to chip in.
I don't know.
Is
I always
difficult.
found putting to be the easiest part, and driving, like, if you're trying to like actually hit the ball in a fucking straight line,
It's hard to
down
not
that's some
slice,
bullshit,
yeah.
dude.
Like the thing is, like putting, you can at least read the terrain somewhat,
Yo.
but that's difficult.
Yeah,
on
like
certain holes.
putting, you can at least like if you're an amateur, you can at least like I get the ball in the general vicinity of the hole. Like if you're completely new to the game and you're trying to drive,
Yeah,
you're
gonna-
gonna be
it's
slicing
going-
things
it's
like 50
going
yards
in the
off to one
trees.
side.
It's gonna be in the trees. You're gonna be like pulling sticks up trying to find the ball.
yeah.
Anyway, I didn't want to derail the whole conversation you guys were having about turning heel. I just wanted to announce that Brooks Koepka won. Congratulations, Brooks Koepka. Please sponsor
Dude,
us.
this
Garth
is like,
Brooks.
this is his 4th major.
It's his 2nd straight PGA Championship win, which confuses the fuck out of me.
Yeah,
The way that-
Josh Brolin
Well,
looking
no,
motherfucker.
the way that golf, the PGA does their majors. Like,
Yeah.
is the Masters the most important, or is the PGA Championship the most important,
I'm not sure.
or is the
Masters
or is
says
the Kentucky
Masters.
Derby
the
most
Masters,
important?
I think, is the most prestigious because
It's like the Daytona
green
500.
jacket and all that bullshit.
The Masters is like the Daytona 500, and the PGA Championship is like the Cup.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah, you gotta win the points race, dude.
if you win the Daytona 500, that's a very sweaty coaster. But yeah, so what were you guys talking about when I left? You were talking about turning heel. People turn on you if you turn heel. You can't do anything villainous. You can't.
No, we were just talking about the way
people, how like there's, I don't know, it feels like more so than before. There's like a hatred for like arrogance and cockiness in society.
I think I think what it is like athletes are figuring out a way that like they're figuring out that it's very popular to be the bad guy now. I think Ali was one of the first ones to really get that popularized.
Yeah,
He was the one.
I think he was so good at it and he just wouldn't lose. Like it
Yeah.
was
There's a documentary on HBO, a 2-part documentary coming out about him soon that I really want to watch. It's got actually unreleased footage released by his estate apparently.
nice.
And you know, I think every sport needs a villain, which is why in a way I think Kevin Durant being on the Warriors is a good thing for the league.
Yeah,
Because they were hating on LeBron for the decision, which, yeah, that's shitty. But at the same time, when you're the most popular athlete in the world, why wouldn't you broadcast what team you're going to in free agency
Yeah.
internationally?
yeah, I guess.
But at the same time, you also had guys like Kobe or, you know, Kobe was different. I would
As
say
long as you know, dude, it's like as long as you're in, if you're not in negotiations still, like if you're still in negotiations, then it's fucking stupid to do that.
yeah.
I mean, Trout did this, like, he just didn't say anything, and people didn't even know if he was trying to sign with the Angels still. Like, other teams were
Yeah.
fucking bidding on him and shit.
yeah.
The whole
Baseball free agency got all fucked up recently. Like the owners are basically colluding to keep salaries down.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing is, like, even, I mean, he's getting paid, like, way ridiculous amount. Like
Isn't he getting paid like $500 million?
I think it's like 430 for a 10-year extension. So
and it's all
over
guaranteed.
12 years. Yeah,
but it's 100% guaranteed.
so he's getting paid $500 million almost to play baseball for 12 years.
Yeah.
So
If you retire before your contract is up, do you still get that? Like, let's say he retires after 10 years.
I guess it would depend on the contract, right? I would imagine there's a clause in there that talks about it.
Yeah. I mean, well, look at A-Rod. Remember when A-Rod signed his contract with the Yankees?
Right.
And then he ended up getting suspended and then ended up being shit after he was after he
so
came back.
you're still making your money though. You're still under contract.
I think, yeah.
But I think also that your suspension might be part of the contract that you negotiate. You know,
Yeah.
like if
Yeah.
you do get suspended, do you get paid? There's I imagine all that shit is in negotiation.
Oh, guaranteed. The contract's not going to be like a fucking
It's
permission
not
slip.
standard
It's not a-
boilerplate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a fucking loose leaf permission slip.
Yeah.
Right.
Written
They do
in-
it on construction paper, and they do
At
it with
least.
crayon.
Yeah, I was going to say,
They do it with Crayola.
sign your life with now rose art.
Yeah, the big, thick Crayola ones. Those were the good ones.
They
honestly.
taste the best.
They do taste the best, and they're the most filling.
I've asked you guys this before, but if you could be a Hall of Fame athlete in any sport, what would it be and why?
I guess it would be baseball, just because you don't get as much crazy publicity and shit, and your risks of injury are way lower.
And,
it's- I just like the Americana.
I also think
aspect of
it's
baseball.
way more prestigious to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
yeah.
When you look at like Barry Bonds is not going to ever be in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Which is a joke.
It is a joke. Even if you take out the years that he admitted to being on PEDs, he was still the best player in the
you
league.
still got-
And he
the
was
ball.
still playing against most everybody on PEDs.
yeah. You still have to hit the ball.
Yeah.
The fact
Like
that
you can't just
Yeah.
take PEDs and be able to
Yeah.
fucking see
Yeah,
the ball better.
steroids aren't fucking Adderall.
Yeah, like there's still plate vision that exists. Like you still have to have plate discipline and shit.
yeah,
Even before he was a slugger, he was probably a top 5 hitter of all time.
Yeah.
what would you pick, Bill?
And I think probably
It's not football for me because it's too much. You're gonna take all the brain damage and shit. You're taking all
Yeah.
that other shit.
And I think probably I don't know, basketball. I feel like
Basketball's a
basketball
lot
Hall of Fame just has there is a level of respect
Yeah.
there that you get by being in there.
of. I think there's also a lot of press coverage though. Is the problem.
Yeah.
I think if you're looking for the most publicity, you're going to be looking at basketball and football.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're looking for the most money, you're probably looking at baseball, boxing.
Yeah.
Thing
As
about
far as
baseball
just
is
straight
like
up respect goes, I think it's like football and basketball.
yeah. What the thing in baseball is you got to play for like 6 years just to get into arbitration and shit to
Yeah.
actually start making money.
Yeah.
So like you got your rookie years are fucking, you're kind of getting paid like jack shit. You're
Yeah.
on a rookie contract. In football, you can negotiate that shit quick.
Right away, like Joey Bosa did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as you're signed, you can negotiate your
And
contract.
they still they aren't even getting that much money guaranteed.
No.
That's like the worst sport financially for how
Right.
much beating you're taking.
I was actually going to go against the grain and say NASCAR. Because
It's demanding though.
it's very
physically.
demanding. But when you look at people that are in the NASCAR Hall of Fame, those guys are like
The
Ex-
best of the best.
the best of the, like, because
Or they died while being really good.
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt.
Alan Kulwicki, dude.
Oh, that,
Alan Kulwicki won a championship. Like, this was already the time when it's like all about teams and shit and just having all that financial backing. Alan Kulwicki was his team. He fucking did it all himself. Like, he was his own engineer, all this shit. He wins the title and immediately turns around, dies in a plane crash.
the
Dude,
Leonard
there's
Skinner
something-
approach.
There's something so legendary about Richard Petty though. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I was gonna say,
Like just the
when you
image
think,
of
when
Richard
you think
Petty
of like
with
Hall
like a
of,
cowboy hat and fucking
yeah,
Yeah.
the shades. I was gonna think like when you think of Hall of Fame, like legendary NASCAR drivers, they're like, even people that don't even have never watched a lick of NASCAR, they know who Dale Earnhardt is.
Yeah,
They
there's
know
like an aura. There's
It's a
like an
very
aura to it.
strange,
Yeah.
energy about them. Like, I would imagine the average person could pick Richard Petty out of a lineup before they could pick, like, Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, Dale Earnhardt was a huge deal. Like, even before he died, like, he was just that guy. Like,
Do you ever see, there was a... I'll put it in the group chat, because I don't think either of you have seen it. But this guy does these videos called There Will Never Be Another Blank. And his first one was There Will Never Be Another Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whose line is it anyway?
Basically, yeah. And he talks about how, you know, he brings up all these different medias and different figures that, like, change the landscape.
Yeah.
And the three I've seen so far were, it was Dale Earnhardt for sports. Because he like, up until he died, he was the most polarizing. Because he got popular as NASCAR was getting popular, because he came in right near, like, the ladder, the back nine of Richard Petty's career.
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt came in, and he was basically Richard Petty, but he didn't have any respect for anybody.
He was yeah.
Everybody hated him,
Yeah.
and everybody's goal was to take him out.
Well,
but
he was also the guy that, like, if he had any sort of alliance with someone, he was gonna push you.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when he needed
and
to.
he was he was like Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
And then they also talked about how there will never be another TV show like Raw. That was the second video.
Raw is like
Yeah.
There will never
it's
be
the
another
longest
Raw.
running TV show, like weekly, like episodic show of all time.
The thing that blows my mind is that Raw still pulls in over 1 million people every Monday, even when football is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Even
all
when
you
the
need to know.
storylines aren't good.
Like Raw will pull in better ratings than Monday Night Football.
Not so much anymore.
They'll still get. It's
It
still
could, though.
ridiculous.
They're
There's-
down, like, from, like, even 2-3 years ago, they're down 1 million. It's getting rough.
Like below 1 million or like
down a million
total?
from where they used to be. Like, so, like, from upper 2s to upper 1s.
But
like,
I think-
it's getting rough.
I think in the realm of professional wrestling,
You're still getting upper ones.
well, yeah, I mean, but you're
That's
also
pretty damn
still
good. You know, it's like that's the thing though. It's like if the storylines aren't that great, like people still watch. As weird as
Yeah.
that is.
And I was gonna say that the third one that he did, which is my favorite one, honestly, he said there will never be another cartoon that's as good as SpongeBob.
Yeah.
When you look at the net worth of SpongeBob as a product,
Right.
SpongeBob is worth over $1 billion
Yeah.
as a trademark.
Yeah.
SpongeBob is basically Ren and Stimpy if Ren and Stimpy wasn't hacky shock value bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what it was.
And it's so weird when you look at, you know, I don't know. I feel like American media.
I think the thing was with SpongeBob, it was like so innovative at the time. Like it was able to like bridge the gap so well between
Yeah.
who the parents that are watching and the kids that are watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That like there wasn't anything that really did that before. I think there was like attempts, like you said, with Ren and Stimpy. Definitely
Yeah,
was trying.
even
to
a
do
lot
that.
of the old Nickelodeon cartoons had that, like, trying to appeal
Yeah.
to the parents and shit, but SpongeBob really dialed that in.
Yeah.
They even brought up in that video, I'm pretty sure he brings up Rugrats. How Rugrats was like
Yup, that
Yeah.
was the next closest
Rugrats
thing.
was a gigantic, like, I didn't even know this because Rugrats ended about when I was a couple years old.
Yeah.
But Rugrats was a gigantic part of the 90s.
Oh,
and
it
then-
was.
It
Like,
definitely nailed.
I
that
remember
shit too.
one episode I never see anyone else talk about is like,
Are we talking about Rugrats?
yeah, it's like Tommy, like they're in a playground or like some conflict with some older kids or some shit, and like the older kid, like they're basically supposed to be in jail, but Tommy has his fingers in one of those Chinese finger traps, and it has a little hole in it where you like stick a needle or something, and it's supposed to help you pop your fingers out. So Tommy takes a look at the finger trap with the little hole in it, sees the little hole, and sticks it down his diaper.
And breaks the finger trap?
No, he doesn't actually, but he like, oh, okay, and
He
just
fucks
sticks
it.
it right down his diaper. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude.
What a savage.
How did they get away with this?
Tommy Pickles, dude?
For real. Dude, there's some fucked up shit in Rugrats looking back.
Yeah, he was a savage, dude. I'll tell you that much.
Grandpa was where most of the adult humor
Yeah,
comes
that's
in.
true. Those Chinese finger traps are such bullshit, dude. God
Right?
damn. Who the fuck can't figure out how to get out of those things?
Dude, you rip them apart.
Or, yeah, literally. But it's like, how do you not even, like, all you do is push your fingers together. How do people not figure that out?
I don't know. I've had a couple times where I tried to do that and it
fingers are in
wasn't
too
working,
far.
and
Yeah.
you just start panicking and fucking.
Then you need scissors.
Fuck.
You gotta get the scissors out. I don't even know where you get those. You gotta get them from the vending machines.
You gotta get them from China.
You gotta win them in a carnival game.
Yeah. Or they're in the vending machine next to the temporary
Carnival games.
tattoos.
Yo,
For real.
temporary. I need some temporary tattoos, man. Get the
Do you?
I used
throw
to
'em on
always
my
get
face,
the...
get that rap career going.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, actually. It's funny because I used to always get the stickers that were in those vending machines, too. They'd come out in the cardboard, like the 2 pieces of cardboard.
Dude,
It was
I
like-
just had the best idea. Temporary tattoos, but instead of the teardrop for below your eyes for having killed someone,
It's
the
the Tyson
water
thing.
energy from the Pokemon card game.
Yeah. The double colorless energy.
Yeah.
No, that's each of my nipples.
Oh, yeah, okay. Those,
They're
dude,
colorless?
I was talking about that with Brian, how overpowered the double colorless energy is.
Yup.
It works for any energy card, and it counts as 2 of them.
No, you can't use it as one of the
I think you can
elements.
use it as,
No, it only counts for the colorless energy requirements. At
Really?
least
No, I
when
thought it was the other way. I thought, any of them counts as a colorless energy.
Yeah, you can use any of the colors as a colorless, but the colorless can only be used for colorless costs. And that's why normal type Pokemon in the card game are so fucking ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. Well, either way, it's 2 energies. It's
Yeah.
fucking bullshit. Because
Yeah.
that basically gives you can play 2 energy cards and you can use any fucking move in the game. Because
Yeah.
I don't think there's any moves that actually require... Maybe there's 5.
There are a couple... I don't know about the newer shit, but there were a couple...
that require 5 energy cards.
Oh, 5, yeah. 5
think-
is only very few,
Yeah.
but there's a few moves in the game that require different colors of energy.
Yeah. Oh, so you'd have to use, electric and a fucking dark or something.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That sucks.
I feel like the game should have explored that more.
Yeah, but I feel like if I don't get good draws at the beginning of the game, you're just searching for energy cards for half the game.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
what
know,
sucks.
it's a very different metagame. I'm used to Magic the Gathering. It's a very different metagame.
I was gonna
Right.
say.
Magic or Pokemon is a lot more about your trainer cards, using it to
Yes.
search for cards in your deck.
It's also
and
nice
shit.
to attach. There's a trainer card that I think you can attach to one of yours, and every time you do damage to somebody, it knocks one of their energy cards off or some shit.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, there's certain trainer cards that are ridiculous. That when you can take energy cards from them and put them in their discard, you're
Yeah.
you're jacked up. Because I used to just I used to get pissed when someone would take my energy, dude.
Yeah.
If I can get an Onyx with Harden, then I can just stack up my energy cards.
Yo,
That's all I
fucking
need.
basic Pokemon 90 HP.
Yeah, with Harden, and he blocks everything up to 60 hit points or something.
Yo.
So you just play him, and
that's-
then
That is
stack up
all I
everything else.
remember is the old shit. Anything from the Game Boy Color game. That's my era.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually. I was just talking to this kid I work with. I think I mentioned him in the beginning. There's this kid that just started working with me in the kitchen. He's 17. And there's another kid I work with that's 19. We were talking about video games. And I didn't realize how much. This is for reference. I was 9 when the Xbox 360 came out, which is probably crazy to you too, right?
Yeah.
But I still had an Xbox 360 when it came out, right?
Yeah.
This kid that I just started working with was 4. He just turned 4 years old when the 360 came out.
Holy shit, dude.
So when he was 9 or 10, the 360 was already outclassed by everything else, which is just insane to me.
God damn, dude.
And you were saying any game on the Game Boy Color for Pokemon with you,
Yeah.
that was the same way with me. one of them was talking about how the first Pokemon game he ever got was Emerald. And I'm like, Emerald? I go, all my friends and I were done playing Pokemon by the time Emerald came out.
Yeah, that was the last one I played, I think.
Same.
No, I mean, like,
That was the last
played
generation.
Emerald, and then I stopped playing them
Yeah.
until, like, Sun or whatever.
And then we were talking about, I told him his name's Steve, and he might be listening. So shout out to Steve. You're a good kid. Fucking whatever. You're
all right,
cool,
I
whatever. He's a good kid. But, we were talking about Minecraft. We were talking
I
about
love when
Minecraft.
people say that. That's almost like...
He's a good kid.
Yeah, it's almost like demeaning.
Like, yeah, it's fucking retarded when people say that shit. I hate it.
It is kind of like...
It's almost
like
demeaning in a way.
Yeah, you're almost talking
Yeah,
down.
it's almost like saying, "Oh, he's a douchebag, but I'm not gonna do anything about it."
Yeah, he's too young for me to do anything about it. If I hit him in the face, I'm not going to get arrested.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
mean,
trying
he's a
to
good
get arrested.
kid, though.
He's a good kid. But, no, he was 7 when the Minecraft... Or, no, he was 8 years old when the Minecraft Alpha came out.
Did you see they're doing a
fuck.
Minecraft AR game
Yo.
on phones?
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Like Pokemon Go, but with Minecraft.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not as excited.
They're doing a Harry Potter one, too.
Minecraft Earth.
Yeah, that could be interesting, I guess.
Yeah. I'm not into the whole fucking
AR stuff.
milk all the money possible out of you with the fucking
Yeah.
AR shit, but
Yeah, I was also going to say that he has never lived in a world where Final Fantasy was a respectable franchise.
yo,
Because he was born after 10 came out.
Yeah.
So he...
it all peaked in, I want to say 98, 99 when Tactics came out.
Yeah, Tactics and 9 came out the same year, I'm pretty sure, right?
God damn.
I mean,
I
the
didn't
first
realize
one I
that.
had was 8. And then I had 10.
I want to say Tactics was 2000, 2001.
Yeah, no, Tactics was after 9. I think Tactics was the prequel to 9.
Was it?
No,
how many-
Tactics is, lore-wise, it's a standalone thing, I'm pretty sure.
I'm almost... oh, no, it's Tactics is in 12. Tactics
Oh,
in
yeah,
12.
with,
and
what? Something, the world.
Well, what year did 300 come
Ivories.
out?
2006?
2006?
2006.
I want to know how many times...
Yeah, but no, that's,
What year did 300 come out?
it's the,
2007.
Oh, 2007.
I believe it's basically the same, it uses the name of the world from the original Final Fantasy Tactics, but all the races and shit come out of Tactics Advance. With your fucking, the
Yeah, you're
the
right.
rabbit
With the
girls
bunny
and shit.
people, yeah.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
I didn't care for Tactics Advance too much with the law system and all that. Like, I just want to build my builds and fucking run them out there. I don't want to have to deal with fucking bullshit laws and shit. Like, oh, you can't use any magic in this battle. Like, oh, okay. I guess I have to fucking replace half my goddamn party.
That shit gets annoying in
Yeah.
games when they, like, go, you can't use this mechanic of the game.
Yo.
Like, good luck.
That's a problem I had with XCOM.
You know,
XCOM does the same shit.
that's why I don't play fucking League of Legends or any shit like that.
Yeah, no, they do the same thing. Like, you'll get to a point where they do, what is it, the draft?
Yeah,
Where, like,
and
each
you
team-
can pick heroes to ban, so
Yeah.
your opponent can't pick them.
Each team picks 5 characters that you can't use. So, obviously, the 5 best characters are going to be unavailable. So,
Right.
what's the point?
Yeah,
Unless you know your opponent and you're like, I know you're good with this guy.
Yeah.
But you
When
don't.
it
not
comes to a
online.
professional scene, yeah, it works.
Yeah.
But that's like if you had Counter-Strike and it's like, all right, nobody's allowed to use the AWP and nobody's allowed to use the M4.
Yeah. It's like playing Gears of War and then banning the Nasher. No one would do anything.
That almost
Everyone
gave
would
me a
just run
stroke.
around
Like-
with everyone would run around with the Lancer chainsaw.
Not even, you just use the pistol. The pistol would
The
be
snub
better.
pistol, yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the snub pistol, yeah.
my
I
other
played-
problem with that shit, like League of Legends, like if you're playing with a random team and you start getting fucking routed, like the next half hour of your life is going to suck.
He's not wrong. You ever played MOBAs, Dota, or League of Legends?
Not
You
really.
didn't miss out on anything. It was fun before everybody learned how to do how to play the game. Like, it was a lot of fun when everybody was like stupid and didn't know there was no meta.
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh, this guy, like, I played as Jax in League of Legends. He was my favorite character. And he had this ability to where if you were getting attacked and you pressed E, you would spin your staff around it. It would deflect everything and make you invincible. And then if anybody was near you, you could press E a second time and stun them. And then you would just fucking... he was an ADC. Like, a pure attack guy.
Yeah.
But then as soon as it got broken down to analytics... he was banned. It's just stupid. Like, you know, there's no...
The thing is, like, there's always going to be a meta in every game. So, like,
Yeah.
That's
can't...
why I only play alone.
The problem is you can't
I'm the
mess
meta.
with... You can't
Real
start going, like... You can't start banning shit from the meta because it changes the game. So,
Yeah.
like, Destiny 2's struggling with this right now. Like, they're at this point where, like, you can earn these guns, and when... Like, what happens is you earn a gun, and then a couple months down the line, they nerf it because
Yeah.
it becomes part of the meta. So, like, you can't keep changing the meta because it's just... I get it. Everyone's going to start getting those weapons, and everyone's going to be using them, and they're not using everything else in the game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can't just keep changing it because it devalues what people are earning.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
at the same time, you reach a point where, like, you're either nerfing what the meta shit is, or every
Buffing
subsequent
everything else.
release is just power creeping up and up
Yeah.
and up.
See, and that's the thing is they did that like not even a year ago and buffed everything up to the same level.
Yeah.
And then they just started making shit that was way more powerful than those things.
Dude, the only time that has ever worked, and I could go on for hours about this, is the new Smash Ultimate. They managed to make Ultimate the most balanced Smash in the whole series, and all they did was just buff everyone and everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
I was gonna say, because
It makes sense. Like there's
there
a power.
are so many characters. I think that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
When it's such an in-your-face fighting.
You
game.
want that though, like in those kind of games. Like you want the power fantasy.
Yeah, and it's like it's everyone feels better to play because they're all stronger.
Right.
Like,
And as long as everything's viable in those kind of games, it's like everybody has a different moveset, so you can just be good with somebody who's not a good character just because you're good at using their moveset. It's the same thing in any fighting game, though. It's like in Mortal Kombat, you could use a shitty character and fucking
Yeah.
still be good with them.
dude, new Mortal Kombat's nuts. I played like 30 minutes of it with my buddy, and we were like back and forth. We're about the same skill level, trading wins back and forth. I pick Noob Saibot. I just start fucking stomping him.
Yeah.
Dude, every single variation of Noob Saibot and MK11 is unfair.
Yeah.
I used to like using smoke because you could teleport through, like, and just disappear all the time.
Yeah.
You know,
I think I was telling you guys about it, how we went to Zamaya's, me and a bunch of my other friends went to Zamaya's to play MK11. And half of us had never picked it up before, but it was still balanced because they somehow made Mortal Kombat even more accessible.
yeah.
I think it was at its most accessible, like, in the 90s.
I don't know. The early, yeah.
I would say, like,
few
Trilogy,
Mortal Kombats are really fucking hard.
They're designed to, they're fucking quarter eaters, dude.
Yeah.
They're designed to fucking get you to keep paying in on the arcade.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
why it's amazing that they made this one so accessible.
Yeah.
Where we were doing like every round. Your brother was there, Sean was there, and every time him and I were playing, we would do a random character. Granted, Sean and I are both really fucking good at Mortal Kombat as it is, but we just do random character. And the way they made it was that like special moves and most basic combos are the same combination.
Right, yeah.
And after halfway through a round, you can figure out how every character feels.
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird that every character...
I think that was the biggest part of the skill gap, was making all the combos different combos for each.
Yeah, and
for
it's
each
so
character.
fucking hard.
And
Like,
that was like in Budokai. Like in Budokai, they basically made them all the same, but like all the characters felt different, and I think they
Yeah.
did that really well.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. I think it makes the game more accessible in so many ways, and it's not like it kills your skill gap because you still know you have to learn how to use the character.
That's what I love about Smash is all the characters are so different,
Yeah.
but it's the same control scheme
Yeah.
for everyone.
It shouldn't be learning about how to use the character. It's
Yeah.
like you should just be able to play with them for a little while and then understand it.
yeah.
That's the thing I love about Smash is that like a neutral B will be a standard special. Up B will be an up base special attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
But
so on
like
and
is
so
the way
forth.
they do their up attack, their jump attack is always different, and it's funny because in Smash you have to use those a lot, not even in combat, just to save yourself from falling off the edge.
Yeah.
So you have to know what that move is too, so that you can know to be moving that way.
Yeah.
Or to.
I was gonna
because
say-
with Ike he just goes straight up
And
like,
then
he throws the thing.
slams.
Yeah.
Well,
And then like Donkey Kong, his recovery is almost entirely lateral.
Yeah. Well, Kirby's fucking OP as far as that's concerned.
well, and I
'Cause
was
he
gonna
just goes,
say what I
Floats right back up.
Jigglypuff in particular. Jigglypuff
Yeah, he
is
does that,
fucking
too.
ridiculous.
my favorite. That's my favorite character in Smash ever.
Yeah.
I am
Yo.
so disgusting with Jigglypuff. But I was gonna say in Smash Ultimate, you know who I think is the most OP, just in my experience?
Who?
Pichu.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
'Cause
Pichu's
tiny.
a beast in this one.
'Cause
It's
Pichu-
fucking ridiculous.
Pichu base damage is higher than Pikachu. The only problem is that every time Pichu attacks, it takes a small amount of damage to itself. But when you factor in the fact that you're faster, you do more damage. You
and
might
you're
as
so small
and
and
you're
hard
super
to hit.
small and hard to hit. You might as well be a glass
Yeah,
cannon.
your guy's just
like
jabbing
Pichu is
over the
immediately
top of him.
like there when you do the left or right B, the charge headbutt.
Yeah.
Like you can hit somebody at like 50 or 60% and destroy them.
Yo,
Yeah.
dude, I play Ganondorf. Ganondorf
You were
kills
talking
people
about
like
Ganondorf.
60, 70 on the regular.
You were talking about Ganondorf. I was watching somebody do the thing where they charge up Ganondorf for like 12 hours straight.
Yo,
What
I
does
saw
it just
that.
increase his damage? Like
no, he
based
just
on
built like a custom stage, like completely enclosed, and just like 12 hours worth of Ganondorf charging up a smash.
Yeah, he's like the only character that you can charge up indefinitely.
No,
That's-
that
Right?
was a mod.
Oh,
Like,
it was a
you
mod?
only get like so long, and you can
Oh,
hold the
I thought you could do
smashes
that
for
in-
longer, but it doesn't charge them up past the certain point.
Oh, okay. So I thought you could charge him up like that in like a regular game.
Yeah, no, that'd be fucking absurd.
That's
dude.
why I thought. That's why I
Yeah,
thought
but
you
you're
were
not gonna
saying
be
Ganondorf
there
was
for-
OP. I didn't realize it was a meme.
Yeah, but it's like you're not gonna have the 12 hours to fucking charge up.
I don't know. You never played Smash against my friends.
Well, yeah.
Some of them are so bad.
Oh man, that's rough, dude. Like, when you play somebody who, like, clearly came up on just, like, free-for-alls with items on, and then you're trying to 1v1 them with no
Yeah.
items on fair stages and shit.
Yeah. Even when like
When you dodge midair and they go, "How did you do that?"
Yo,
even when you fucking are like it's like a new challenger approaches and then you have to 1v1 them, it's totally different. Like
yo,
Yeah,
dude. It's so good.
I'm thinking we got to wrap up soon because
whatever.
Game of Thrones is on in an hour, and I got to be home for that.
Gotta see it, dude. I can't.
It's the last episode, dude. I've been invested in this shit for like 9 years. 9 years and
just
more-
read the synopsis.
9 years and more books than I ever wanted to read in my entire life.
I made it about a quarter of the way through the first book, and I just couldn't get into it. Never cared for the show.
But yeah, so it's the last episode tonight. I don't give a shit that you don't like it. Like, it's nothing to me.
I never got into it either, but I guess I just didn't watch enough, and I don't feel like.
You didn't get it, like, it's in my personal opinion for Game of Thrones.
Well, everybody says it's not like the first. You gotta. It's you. It's just like any of those long shows. You gotta like actually invest yourself. I feel like
Well, I was also going to say it's not like...
it's a Critical Role, dude.
Well, no, I was going to say with Game of Thrones, I'm going to compare two of my favorite shows of all time. Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad, you can get into and absorb yourself into that world because it's modern and it's something that is, not so out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
With Game of Thrones, it's almost like a more expansive. It's like a wider and deeper Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but you
Where
have to
with
know.
Lord of the Rings, you're only really following.
It's longer and deeper than the actual portion of Lord of the Rings that they present to you as the stories. But if you want to get into
I
like
was
the
just
really
well,
into
yeah.
shit.
I was talking about the show and like the media.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Oh yeah, your mic is not
shit.
working.
Yeah, you just got owned.
Oh, you unplugged my microphone. Oh, mine's back.
Okay. It's sounds good from this side.
And you unplugged my mic again.
Well, Bill, you can wrap the show up for us.
All right, well, it's been a good time. We're here. For Jake and Seth, I'm Bill. This has been Clear Shots Podcast. You can find us at the typical web addresses that I'm not aware of.
ShotsPodcast.com.
Why does my microphone? What did you do to my microphone?
I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I think I killed it. No, Bill still works.
Every time I'm on the show, dude.
Every time.
You didn't even sing. We didn't even sing Method
stealing
Man this time.
All right, I'm stealing it.
I'm
I'm stealing it. I'm stealing Bill's
in the
mic.
middle of a point.
What was your point? I'll relay it.
No. I was basically just gonna say, like, it's in my personal opinion, as a big fan of Game of Thrones, it's impossible to get into it at this point because it's almost too popular to where it's not gonna meet your expectations if you start watching it.
The last couple seasons.
Exactly.
What I'm told.
When it first started off, it was a low budget, high quality show, and then it got really popular and it became a high budget, low quality show that was just all about, the glitz and glamour rather than the intricacies.
The murder and the incest.
Yeah, and the political side of it. After a few seasons, it became just, let's have wicked, crazy battles and have dragons and stuff. Whereas, in my also same argument, Breaking Bad was the same show, same quality, in my opinion, perfect from start to finish.
Except for that one episode with the fucking fly and the meth lab.
Yeah, that one was retarded. So, out of one episode in 80 years.
Agreed.
Jesus. All right. Well, I guess we're gonna wrap this up because we're using one microphone for all three of us. Yeah, I gotta figure out what happened. It just cut out. It just literally just stopped. It's probably because it's 1,000,000 degrees in here, and we've been doing it for 3 hours. So
I swear, I tried doing it last year. I'm pretty sure
fans don't do it.
Fan blowing out is just blowing out cold air.
Fans.
I've never had success with that.
Yep, it only blows in hot air is the thing. So, yeah, that's it, I guess. ClearShotsPodcast.com. Thank you for being here, Bill. It was fun.
Thank you for having me.
And,
Definitely couldn't hear that.
yeah, well, he says thank you.
300 came out in 2007.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. ClearShotsPodcast.com is where you'll find links to everything we do. You can check us out on Twitter at ClearShotsPod. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and check us out on Periscope for live videos. If you have anything you want to ask us, send us an email at clearshotspodcast@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. We will see you next time.